Ignited the ballpark of the Palm Beaches for the Grapefruit League opener against the Astros. The Nats ready to roll with a loaded and healthy roster that includes several new faces and plenty of familiar ones as well. So welcome to the fifth team ballpark of the Palm Beaches. Some dark skies over toward the Atlantic tonight. Astros won a World Series 2 seasons ago. They only won 103 games last year. The Nats are hosting them, if you will. They shared this ballpark. As you and I share our 9th year together, and they said it wouldn't last.
Yeah, I'm excited. Baseball, baby, 2019 season. We're all fired up to see Max Scherzer on the mound. But, Carp, when you talk about camps, every year we come down here, we say it's a relaxed atmosphere. The guys are having fun.
Yeah.
I've never seen a more intense camp. The drills these guys are doing are with purpose. They're simulating game situations. It's almost like a full squad, full pad practice in football every single day. It's been intense.
Yeah, it's been interesting, too, because when some things go wrong, when they're working on fundamentals, Davey takes the veterans, the young guys, and everybody, and they start all over again, and they responded pretty well to that.
Well, they had to work on it. I mean, their base running was atrocious last year. They didn't do the little things well, and it equated to an 82-80 season. They're addressing the issues, and they're going to be a lot better this year.
82-80. I think everybody's a lot hungrier this year. It's a good mix of youth and veteran experience. But here's the guy who everything revolves around every 5 days, because when Max takes the mound, you just have the feeling the ball club's going to win on that particular game.
We're talking about intensity and being engaged. There's a DH tonight in the lineup for the Nationals. Max Scherzer was in the cage this afternoon, hitting, doing his tee work, preparing for the season.
Yeah, so Max, we all thought he should have won the Cy Young last year. The voting didn't work out that way, but all he did was win 18 ball games and strike out 300. We get Max tonight for our Grapefruit League opener from West Palm Beach. Ready to go, 18-7 last year. Check out the weather. There's been a threat of rain throughout the day, but it hasn't materialized. So right now, mostly cloudy. It's going to be 78 at game time. And FP and I couldn't be happier to invite and welcome Alex Chappell to the broadcast crew. Hey, Alex, great to see you. Great to have you here with us in Florida. And tell us about the roster mix that Davey has this year.
Hey there, Bob and FP. I am so excited to join you all this year, and I'm not the only new face around. There are 9 new faces on this Nationals 40-man roster. Mike Rizzo in the Nationals front office putting an emphasis on getting pitching and defense in the offseason. And Davey Martinez loves what he's seen from some of the new veteran players, from the likes of Anibal Sanchez, Yan Gomes, Kurt Suzuki, Brian Dozier, because over the course of a 162-game season, things are going to get tough. But the skipper says he knows these are the type of players that have leadership and accountability.
Yeah, and I think Adam Eaton is one of those guys. He's healthy this year, much more so than at this time a year ago, and we're just so excited about what this ball club has to offer. First up, the Houston Astros, who went 103-59 last year. Miles Straw, one of their young guys they're taking a look at in center field. Big minor league season last year. And Miles Straw is a Garden Grove, California kid. 9 games at the big league level last year. But in tonight's lineup, no Jose Altuve, no Alex Bregman, no Carlos Correa. In fact, the guy we're most familiar with, probably the leadoff guy, DH Jace Marisnick. So here's Max and FP last year, 221 innings, 300 strikeouts even.
You see the numbers right there. Last year, the four-seam fastball opponents hit just 198 against Max's fastball. But get this, against his changeup, just 126. Here we go, the 2019 season, the Grapefruit League. Bring it on, baby. Timeout.
Something going on out in the outfield, and the 24-year veteran umpire, C.B. Buckner, stepped out and let everybody know that we weren't quite ready to start, even though Max was. So C.B.'s got the plate. Mike Estabrook, David Rackley, Mark Stewart Jr. around the bases tonight. There we go. First pitch heater misses away. We're underway at 6:36 in West Palm Beach. Marisnick's numbers with Houston last year, 27 years of age. We saw him early in his career with the Marlins, in the last couple of seasons with the Houston Ball Club. He's in the DH spot leading off tonight.
Max going to go about 35 pitches tonight. He wanted to go 50, and Davey Martinez said 35, big boy. He's into this thing.
And he probably blunted no DH. He wanted to bat tonight too, but that'll come in a couple of weeks when the pitchers start hitting. At least the National League guys. There's the slider, a beauty. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Opponents hit 193 against the Max Scherzer slider in 2018.
Slightly to pull are the Nats on the infield. Wind's blowing out to left as it usually does here. Scherzer career. He's now 34 years of age. 159 wins, 3.22 ERA, 329 career starts. Couple of complete games last year, giving him 10. A shutout last year, giving him 5 of those.
So another debut tonight, Carp, is the pitch clock. 20 seconds in between pitches. Stopped at 9 on the foul ball.
That will be interesting. It's been in use in the minor leagues for a couple of years.
It starts ticking down once the pitcher receives the ball from the catcher.
That ball's well hit to center. Michael A. Taylor back and not catchable. Houston on top.
All right, that's how the Grapefruit League starts. Jake Marisnick gets a fastball right down the heart of the plate for Max Scherzer and gives it a ride. Short, compact swing. Pitchers are supposed to be ahead of hitters right now, but Marisnick locked in. 2-strike approach. 1-0 Astros.
Yeah, big league hitters like those. Here's Derek Fisher, the left fielder. 42 ball games for the Astros last year. Hit a .165. Last year, Fresno was their AAA. This year, Fresno is our AAA affiliate. Not exactly a car ride away if you get called up this year, or a short flight like Syracuse was.
Well, it's an interesting topic, Carp. I mean, you know, if you have a catcher that goes down, you might have to put somebody on the roster in Harrisburg in AA to get a catcher to Washington.
Good
in
call,
a day game after a night game. Might have to put some roster guys in Harrisburg in AA and make guys available more quick. Because hey, there's no way a guy's getting from Fresno to D.C. overnight if there's a day game after a night game. So it would be interesting to see where the minor leaguers are placed in Davey Martinez's minor league system.
Yeah, that's interesting. And over the last maybe decade in baseball, there are a number of players, P, and you know this as well as anyone, that have skipped AAA ball. You know, AA is home for a lot of the best prospects in baseball right now, because at the AA level, for the most part, it's kids on their way up. AAA is a mix of those and guys, you know, still trying to hang on. And so I'm sure Mike Rizzo and his staff are going to keep a close eye on that this year. There's a Scherzer runner that gets the outside edge, striking out Derek Fisher. Good away movement on this one.
Just a little update. The pitch clock is still stuck at 9 as you look at Max Scherzer's first strikeout of the year. There it is. They finally reset it.
It just got reset.
There it is. Heard me. Well, he's got the ball in his hand. It's supposed to be moving.
That's right.
They're just going to keep it at 20.
I think the same company that makes telestrators is working on the pitch clock here. Here's Aledmys Diaz, the shortstop. That's an inside crew joke for a piece of our equipment that hardly ever works.
Or you're waiting for an Uber. Same thing.
1 ball, no strikes. You give the two of us all day to think about our first game of the year, you're asking for trouble. This one out to the gap, the short gap. It's going to drop in front of Michael A. Taylor. So Aledmys Diaz, we thought this kid was going to be a star with the Cardinals several years ago. Got hurt, went to Toronto for a while, now he's an Astro.
All right, let's set the defense for the Nats tonight. Soto, Taylor, Eaton, the outfield. Defo, Rendon, the left side of the infield. Kendrick Adams, the right side, and Yan Gomes behind the plate. So Yan Gomes, the new catcher, but look who's back. Howie Kendrick, May 19th last year, had the Achilles rupture in left field, remember, at Nats Park? Worked real hard to get back here. They say he's 100%, and it's great to see him back on the field.
Well, one thing about Howie Kendrick, when he's healthy, you and I always thought he was the most consistent offensive player on this team.
Absolutely.
You know what you're getting almost every night. So great to see him back in uniform and out there. He's in a shift over there with Wilmer Defoe on the right field side of second base. And Anthony Rondon at a shortstop position where he is very comfortable. 0-1 to Kyle Tucker. That got him on the foot as Max jammed him. Tucker, 24 home runs last year, 93 RBIs in 100 games at the AAA level. More on Max here. Strikeout leaders, Justin Verlander, Garrett Cole in the yard tonight. And of course, not wearing the A of Arizona anymore, but the curly W's, Patrick Corbin. How about that? And you knew DeGrom would be on that list. Kyle Tucker, Tampa guy. That's how deep the Astros are. Guy hits 24 homers, drives in 93 at AAA, and he only gets 28 games at the big league level. That was a fantastic stop by Yan Gomes on a pitch that hit way out in front of the batter's box.
Spring training effort for Max Scherzer right there. How many times did you see this during the regular season? Might have been a curveball that he just hung on to a little bit too long. Threw a cutter the pitch before that Tucker fouled off his leg. You talk about 300 strikeouts from Max, 246 from Corbin last year. Steven Strasburg in this rotation. There'd be a lot of swings and misses this year against the Nats.
1-2 the count. Medium lead at first by Diaz. Ball lashed to the right side beyond the reach of Matt Adams. Adam Eaton up with it, throws into the correct bag, second base. And the Astros have 3 hits among the first 4 batters, 2 of them hard hit.
He tried to repeat the same pitch, the one that he just spiked. Kind of wished that one in there a little bit higher, which is understandable after you just threw one a little bit short. Nice swing by Tucker.
And this would be a great time for the up the middle combo of Defoe and Kendrick to get a ground ball they could work with. Tyler White's the hitter. 28 years of age, out of Mooresboro, North Carolina. Drove in 42 runs for the Astros in 66 games last year. Boy, this system has really developed some players in recent years. Our great friend, now our Masson colleague, Bo Porter, of course, managed that Houston ball club, and they were totally in tear down rebuild mode back then. And the pitch clock's working.
There it is on the bug. See right above Masson. We went over that in our meeting and I couldn't find it, but you can see it at home.
Well, Max goes into his stretch and it disappears.
It's plenty big. I'm just not the sharpest tool in the shed.
That fastball rights up and in on Tyler White. You know, but Bo was there at a time when Houston was totally tearing the thing down and rebuilding it. Jeff Luhnow came over from St. Louis, where he worked with Walt Jocketty and John Mozeliak. They have totally rebuilt this ball club. Now they have enough success where they can bring in Verlander and other guys to really complete the team. Garrett Cole last year. This Houston ball club is absolutely loaded. Good heater. Good location away, unreachable for the right-handed batter. 1-2.
Right, I mean, we might as well address this right now with the pitch clock thing. So when Max comes set, the clock goes off. If you're wondering why it's counting down 10, 9, 8, as soon as he comes set, that's good enough. See, 1, he did it perfect.
Down and away, good location. Couple of strikeouts now.
The one thing I would say, Carp, as a hitter, you try to slow the game down, especially if I'm in the box against Max Scherzer. You want to step out, you want to regroup thoughts, you want to think about what pitch is coming next. And even though it's a pitch clock for the pitcher to get the ball to the plate in 20 seconds, I feel like the hitter is at the disadvantage. If I got to get in and my thoughts aren't right and I'm not thinking straight and I'm not thinking about what pitch is coming and I feel rushed, that's the worst feeling you can possibly have as a hitter.
Sure.
Besides facing a guy like Max Scherzer.
Here's first baseman A.J. Reed. Just kind of a calling card toss over there. And by the way, the pitch clock. First, the initial spring training games for the next week or so. No enforcement of the clock. Just they want to get everybody thinking about it, get familiar. Early next week, umpires will issue reminders to pitchers and hitters who are in violation. And then later in spring training, depending on the status, this is a good disclaimer, of the negotiations with the Players Association, umpires will be instructed to begin assessing ball or strike penalties for violations. So there's a 3-step process to this whole thing as we go through spring training. 1 ball, no strikes with 2 outs. It's like Max tried to turn over a changeup and it floated away. 2-0. And of course, along with the pitch clock, all kinds of other things we're talking about. The DH has been back in the conversation for the last couple of weeks. Possible addition of a 26th man to the roster of every ball club if the DH finds its way to the National League. So things to think about a little bit down the road. And some of us who love the National League style of baseball do not want to see guys like Max Scherzer never pick up a bat again.
Nah, that's all you got to do. Show me a replay of Max run to first on a base hit with zoomed in on his facial expressions. That's all I think about the DH.
Yeah. We're going to go kicking and screaming into that one if they try to do it. 2 balls, 1 strike. Runner goes at first, pitch down and in. They've got the runner trapped at third. Yan Gomes throws to Rendon to get Aledmys Diaz, and the Nats are out of the inning. Leadoff homer, Jake Marisnick, and now we'll see the Nats come up to hit for the first time.
For $100.
That play they just saw, well done by Yan Gomes. Kept us cool, threw a strike to Rendon. Here come the Nats and the lineup. Speaking of catchers, Yan Gomes was an all-star last year. He's won a Silver Slugger in his American League career. He does, when you see him walking around, he doesn't look like a catcher. He looks like he could be playing first base. He's got a big, strong upper body. He can drive the ball. Matt Adams is going to hit in front of him. You know those first 4 guys at the top. Michael A's been working on his swing. Wilmer can play anywhere. And Brandon Snyder gets a shot at DH tonight against 28-year-old Brady Rogers. And FP, a good story on this guy coming back from serious injury.
Yeah, had Tommy John surgery on May 2nd, 2017. And a real good story out of the Astros clubhouse the other day. A.J. Hinch gathered all the players around. They said, hey, you're getting the ball in the opener of the Grapefruit League. It's kind of a symbolic gesture to all the hard work Brady had to get back on the mound. So he takes the mound. His teammates applauded, and we're behind him. I mean, that's the kind of group the Astros have, everybody together. But he had growth plates in his arm when he was 12 years old. He broke those growth plates, and the calcium deposit on it, the doctors think contributed to his Tommy John surgery. So a lot of hard work to get back on the mound, a great story, and we always root for guys like this.
Good for him out of Richmond, Texas, a former 39th rounder by the Astros out of Arizona State 10 years ago. His breaking ball stays up and away, and here's Adam Eaton. All we want to see is Adam Eaton healthy between now and the end of the season. In 95 games last year, he hit .301, career batting average .287. Another guy who is so consistent, not biting on the pitch, down and in, 3-1. Trey Turner not in the starting lineup tonight, but I'm just kind of thinking about Eaton and Turner at the top of this lineup. What good table setters they will be. That one hit so hard that Nick Tanalou couldn't get a piece of it. Got to be a base hit, and Adam Eaton's aboard for the Nats to lead off their first inning.
Spanky getting the first knock of the year. Atta baby. He's healthy. He didn't have to rehab this winter. He just got stronger. You watch him run around, and we haven't seen Adam Eaton without a little hitch in his giddy up for a whole year. You know, last year it was such a process for him to get on the field. Had to get to the ballpark early, get hooked up to machines, ice, stim, everything, just to get out there for one game. So there goes the no-hitter, and there goes the long winner, Adam Eaton, with the first knock.
You didn't have to wait long, did you?
No.
Well, we talked about Howie. 40 games last year. He was hitting .303 when he got hurt. Unbelievable veteran presence on this ball club. And Adam, of course, can steal a lot more than we saw last year. You're just not going to go flying around the bases when you're dealing with a bad ankle and then coming off the knee injury and all the stuff he did last year. He does have 66 career stolen bases. Off and running, breaking ball away, and because the throw was off to the shortstop side, Adam Eaton is safe at second base. Max Stassi. Strong throw, but just a little offline.
A good jump by Adam here. He's dirty already. That's what he likes. The big dive into second base. Talked to Davey Martinez today. He said Trey Turner's going to lead off, and he's just going to let him run wild, and Adam Eaton probably going to hit second. So you're, in essence, going to have 2 leadoff hitters.
Love it.
Back to back at the top of the order.
Now Howie, the veteran hitter, looking to drive it the other way, perhaps. That swing would indicate thus. High off the screen, 1 and 2.
All right, May 19th last year. We're going to take a look at it. The Howie Kendrick injury back on the warning track at Nats Park, because he's back and he's 100% now. Blew his Achilles out right there. And folks, that's a lot of hard work. A lot of dedication, a lot of devotion to getting that thing better. And you talk to Howie and he's 100% right now. So we are so glad to see him back, going full tilt, no restrictions. Big reason why he's starting tonight at second base. The skipper wanted him in there.
Love it. 35 years young. High chopper left side. Tyler White has it. No chance for Eden to advance. First out. He's not a teeny bopper anymore. He's an old man at the age of 20. Unbelievable debut for Juan Soto last season. You know, it was interesting talking to people today just around the ballpark. Some of the other broadcasters from the Astros. We weren't even looking at this guy on the radar 1 year ago tonight. It was all about Victor Robles. It was all about the Nats having all their guns loaded and ready, but they weren't all healthy. And then Juan Soto comes out of nowhere and has a storybook season. And nothing fluky about it at all. He's going to rip a base hit that's going to tie the game. First pitch he sees, first RBI of the spring, and the Nats are on the board.
I mean, all is right with the world again, isn't it?
So much for the sophomore jinx.
Adam Eaton gets on, he gets dirty, he steals second base. Juan Soto, is this his first big league camp?
Yeah, really.
I mean, maybe his first big league at bat in camp. I don't know if he ever came over from the minor league side. I think we saw him one time, but a base hit up the middle. Juan Soto, a guy carp that went to play in Japan on the big league all-star team. When he was done with that, he came back to the Dominican Baseball Academy and worked out 4 days a week. So he didn't sit on his historic teenage season. He worked harder than he ever has before in the off. I mean, Juan Soto gets it, folks, and I think we all know that.
Yep. Here's Anthony Rendon. Second highest career total of his career last year, 92. He had driven in 117. Hit 308 on base percentage, was in the 370 plus range. 24 home runs. Something that you and I talked about late in the season, overlooked by a lot of people. The man made 6 errors all year long at third base. 6.
Well, we're hoping that he's in a Nats uniform for a long time. They've been talking about negotiations and a long-term deal, and I'm sure Nats fans' fingers are crossed that number 6 is in that uniform you're looking at for a long time. I thought he had a great quote the other day. It was, you know, paraphrasing, of course, something about how agents work for him and not the other way around, and I think we get that messed up oftentimes. And if he wants to be somewhere, he's going to be somewhere, and he knows that his agent Scott Boras works for him and not vice versa.
Ball fired over there. Soto took a big enough lead that Brady Rogers checked him over there.
I think with all the money carp in today's game, sometimes that line is blurred often, and not just with one agent, with, you know, a lot of them.
Well, the player has the ultimate say. That was a breaking ball, hanging up and in a little bit, and Anthony fouled it off to the right. How about last 2 years with doubles? Rendon had 38 and then 41. So at the top, more than Nick Markakis, who's having a great second half of his career. Back with the Braves again, he is.
Weird that he has the nickname Tony Two Bags. I don't know how he got that.
Yeah.
Strange.
Did you come up with that?
I don't know. I don't think. Maybe I copied it off Twitter. I do that a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say that's never happened.
Yeah, never.
So the last 2 years playing pretty much every day, Anthony's made a grand total of 13 errors at the hot corner in 2 seasons. We thought he was as good as Arenado last year and had about half the errors that Nolan did. He's got the reputation. He's a fantastic third baseman, no doubt about it. Too bad they just couldn't give out 2 Gold Gloves over there.
I remember when Kevin Franzen was a Nashville. You remember when one day in the clubhouse he said that Anthony Rendon's our best player, and it was huge controversy for about 2 days.
Popped it up right side. Nick Tanalou over there. He's got it for the second out.
Astros D coming at you. Fisher, Straw, Tucker, the outfield. Diaz, White, left side. Tanalou, Reed, right side. And representing the 916 area code, Max Stassi behind the plate for the Astros.
Welcome back, Matt Adams. Really changes the complexion of this ball club in terms of the bench and certain times when Ryan Zimmerman won't play against maybe certain right-handed pitchers that might be out there, or just when Ryan needs a day off. I mean, having this guy available is huge for this ball club. When he's not in the lineup, pop off the bench. Active pinch hitters. First in average, home runs, RBI, slugging percentage. Who better to bring back than Matt Adams? 30 years of age.
He's a quality person.
He is.
I mean, first and foremost, talk about, you know, the clutch hitting, the power. But when the Nats re-signed Matt Adams this offseason, might have been the highlight of my winter. That's how much we enjoyed him his first go around here as a National. And it was weird when he got traded. I think he said something on the way out back to St. Louis that he wouldn't mind coming back again, that he had such a great time, and here he is.
Love it. 3-1. Matt only played, and remember when he was hurt, he hurt his hand trying to bunt against the Shift one day. He played 81 games the whole season, still hit 19 home runs and drove in 57. So his production per at bat was outstanding. New patches on the sleeves for Grapefruit League Florida baseball in 2019.
How about you? Do you got to work yourself into this thing? Are you on a?
I feel like I'm in late February form right now.
Are you on a word count tonight? It's like 3 innings and shut it down, go ice.
Right side, but the Shift is going to take away a hit on Matt Adams. So, going to go get a rub down and be back for the top of the second here in a second.
Advantage of
Great runs in the first inning, and with Max back on the mound after 25 pitchers, Davey Martinez is going to join us. Hey Skipper, welcome to year 2. What's the vibe for you here in camp so far?
Oh, it's been unbelievable. Guys, it's been a lot. We've had a lot of energy, a lot of excitement. Guys are really working hard.
Yeah, I'm watching the engaged nature of your squad and all the defensive drills, the emphasis on base running. We talked about it earlier today. Share with Nats fans what we talked about. I asked you during batting practice today, what's the one main thing you learned from year 1 in spring training to today standing here?
You know, when I assessed our season last year and looked back and try to figure out what our issues were, you know, for me, individually, we have an unbelievable talented bunch of guys. And what I was learning, what I figured out is, as far as the team concept, that we needed to just get better. You know, we needed to do the little things better. We needed to play good defense, run the bases a lot better, and that was my emphasis coming into spring training.
And you just thought, hey, this team won 97 games. They won a division. These guys know how to play, and they did know how to play. But new year, new team, new unit. It's incumbent on you as the skipper, and you've taken it by the horns this year of getting them to believe in themselves and believe they're a family.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is we're with each other for what I believe to be 184 games, and it's a long year. You know, we got to really pull for each other. We got to pat each other on the back when things are not going well. We got to believe in each other and play together as a team.
You know, and Davey, I'm going to disclaim this for you because I know you would never do it on your own behalf. You played with a short deck almost the entire season last year with guys starting out hurt, And then when you got the position guys back, Steven Strasburg went on the DL for a while, and you just were not able to have your set lineup on the field. I know that's something that you want badly for this season because you know you've got a great lineup if you can keep this squad together.
Absolutely. You know, the best thing, I walked in my office the first day of camp, and I look on my board, and I have all these magnets with everybody's name on it. And on the bottom right, there's this one magnet that says rehab on there, and it was really nice to see that we had no one underneath that rehab sign.
Max Scherzer 3-2 on A.J. Reed leading off for the Astros here in the top of the second. Bob and FP from the ballpark of the Palm Beaches, and Davey Martinez with us. And Max is going to miss low and in.
Davey,
so in an outing like this, Davey, what is Max trying to do out there? What's he working on? What's his approach that first time out?
You know, he's trying to work on different things. You know, I know his big emphasis right now is he's developing a curveball, and he's trying to get the feel for it. He wants to work on his changeup, but for the most part, he's just building strength back up to go out there and pitch 7, 8 innings, throw 90, 95 pitches, 100 pitches. You know how Max could be. I mean, he's very competitive, so he wants to go out there and strike everybody out. He wants to get quick outs, and but this is just part of spring training. This is why we have spring training, so these guys can get ready.
Well, that's got some slide to it, and a strike to the catcher, Max Stassi.
You know, being here for a couple days now and watching the drills, you and I, Davey, both been around a lot of spring trainings. And at the major league level, there's been times where you've experienced it, I've experienced. It's kind of a country club atmosphere. You feel like they're at the highest level. It's up to them to get ready for the season. I've never seen a more engaged group. I've never seen more intense drills. Juan Soto went first to third today in a defensive drill and slid into third, and there was a tag play. I watched a minor league kid slide in to home yesterday in a play at the plate. I mean, you're getting after it like I've never seen before. When did you come up with this, and why did you come up with this?
Well, like I said, you know, when I sat around this winter and I watched replays of games, I really wanted to focus on just the little things, all the little details, you know. And so, you know, when I sat with the coaches, I talked to them this winter, you know, we decided to put a game plan together. And going into spring training, they all knew that, hey, they need to come to spring training in shape, that we were going to work them, that we were going to do things a little bit differently. And but I really need, in order for this to work, they had to be in shape. And a testament to these guys, they look great, and they came in shape. I mean, we're running the bases hard, and, you know, there's no huffing and puffing. I mean, they're getting after it.
Absolutely, and it's fun to watch.
There's a changeup by Max, held on a little too long, outside 2-2. Hey, Davey, talk about some of the new faces. We've already seen Yan Gomes behind the plate, and Nats bring Kurt Suzuki back. Brian Dozier is here, Patrick Corbin. I mean, your general manager gave you some cards to play with during the offseason.
Yeah, he was working diligently to make us better this year, and he did. You know, as you said, Jan's playing today. You'll see Dozier play tomorrow. Suzuki's going to play in a couple of days. We brought Matty back, you know, and then we got an unbelievable starting pitcher, probably the best one that was in the market with Pat Corbin. And then we had a couple bullpen pieces that we felt we needed with Rosenthal and Barraclough. So, you know, right now, you know, we're in really good shape. And the biggest thing, like I said, is to get out of spring training healthy and ready to go.
I'm looking at a website right now, and I saw this earlier, so I'm going to bring it up. You're not going to like this. You're ranked 20th as the best-looking manager in baseball.
Whoa!
Bob Melvin's ahead of you. Come on. Mike Schilt from the Cardinals is ahead of you. Terry Tito's ahead of. I mean, we got to tighten this up.
Hey, I tried to fix myself up a little bit. Obviously, it didn't work.
I mean, whoever made this poll.
That's a bad poll right there.
That's terrible. Anyways, well, Skipper, thanks a lot for joining us today. Get back to managing, and good luck this season. It seems like everyone's working harder than I've ever seen them work my 9th year here, and nothing but the best for you.
Thank you, and it's good to see you guys today.
Hey, Davey, I just want you to know that's the kind of inside baseball we'll be talking with you all year long about.
Hey, I love it.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Thanks.
Okay.
Davey Martinez, only 10 worst-looking managers in baseball, evidently. What is up with that?
That's terrible.
This is Nick Tanalou, the second baseman. 1 ball, 1 strike. Max just registered his 3rd strikeout a moment ago on Max Stassi after A.J. Reed drew the walk, and this ball's out of play to the right side. Alex Chappell, of course, is with us, and Alex, she'll have a couple more interviews from down dugout way during tonight's ball game. We've heard a rumor that Dan Coco and Bo Porter might make some sort of appearance this evening.
Dan didn't know what to do with himself before the game today. Obviously,
he was in the corner of our booth in the fetal position during our live opening tonight.
Well, he'll be busy once opening day gets here doing the pregame and postgame, but there is none from spring training, so he was like a lost little kid today.
No, he and Bo are doing a great job.
Still here.
He and Bo are doing a great job pretending they're down here working.
Yeah, we're going to put him on TV later. You'll see.
Yeah, we'll get it. And Carol Maloney was here a couple of days ago. She'll be contributing to our mass and effort on the Nats as well this year. So welcome to all of our newbies. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out, and Max will bounce one, and Yan Gomes to his right to handle it. Your old buddy, former Expo Michael Barrett, observes, works with a lot of the catchers in the organization. He couldn't say enough good things about Yan Gomes.
Well, we're excited about both catchers. We love Kurt Suzuki first go around. I think it was one of Mike Rizzo's best acquisitions ever midseason in 2012 when he got Kurt. Now he's back.
High chopper left side, an off-speed pitch. Defoe backs up. Howie tries to turn it. Ball hit too slowly, but a good rhythm play, 6-4 for the second out of the inning. Let's take a look at the last 2 seasons. Kurt Suzuki, I mean, look what he's done, and probably 7 or 8 of those homers have been against the Nats. He had 12 for the Braves last year, and Gomes an all-star. He's won a Silver Slugger in his past.
I was going to say all 31 of those home runs were against the Nats, but I'll take 6 or 7.
Like
That's the first thing I said to Kurt. Welcome back, and you know what? Take 6 or 7 home runs off your total this year because you're playing for the team you used to kill.
That's right. He was a net killer for the Braves. And a footnote on Yan Gomes, who catches that pitch outside. His career caught stealing rate is 35%. So that is solid. He's got a chance to hit his 100th homer or go beyond that this year. He has 87 after hitting 16 and driving in 48 as an all-star for the Indians last year. In fact, his ball club played the Astros in the division series, and he had a couple of knocks in that series against the Houston ball club. This is Miles Straw, the center fielder. 3 for 9 at the big league level last year. .1-0 pitch. He's the 9th batter in the order. And this one skied to center. Any fly ball to center or left's going to carry tonight, but Michael A. takes care of that. Max Scherzer, maybe that's it for him tonight. Gave up a home run early, working with Yan Gomes. They both settled in very nicely after that.
Trading all tied at 1 as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Let's show you some Max Scherzer highlights. Not about the results right now. It's about getting into your routine, getting your work done, getting out there in the uni on the field and facing some hitters, right? You faced Juan Soto the other day in some live BP, but now you got somebody in a different uniform. You're working on your stuff. So you throw 44 pitches, 25 of those first strikes, and you punch out a few Astros on the way. Good day at work for Max Scherzer as we start the 2019 campaign. And wasn't that fun? We get Max on the mound on Masson the very first night.
So here's our first look at one of our new catchers. 31-year-old Yan Gomes, 248 career hitter. 7 years between the Indians and a 43-game debut back in 2012 with Toronto. He was originally drafted by the Red Sox out of the University of Tennessee back in 08, did not sign, and then the Blue Jays made him a 10th rounder the following year. He's listed at 6'2", 215. Right-hander shift on, by the way, and we started to see more of that last year. 3 players on the left side of the infield.
Check out the unis the Nats are sporting in the Grapefruit League. I love them.
The Script National is very cool.
Flip-flop the colors too. It's the blue with the name and the red as the trim.
Yeah.
And remember, it was the opposite in the past. So these are just spring training uniforms. The hats with the capital on them and the block W are the best hats they've ever had, bar none. And they're just spring training hats. So yeah, those are tight. I want one. right? Don't you love that?
The old block W that was before the curly W decades ago.
I was talking to Mark Lerner about it today. They gave him a bunch of options for some spice up the spring training uniforms, and I think they just dialed it in perfectly. These are sweet.
Gomes, Taylor, Defoe, top of the second. And some high gas from Brady Rogers. That's his first K of the night.
How about a promo? I got to work on this. Stink at them all year. Washington Nationals single game tickets are on sale now. You won't want to miss the best matchups and hottest giveaways at Nats Park. Visit nationals.com to get your 2019 tickets today.
Mark Lerner is doing great. He's moving around better than ever. There's Marla alongside. And later, Mark will join Alex for a little chat downstairs. But you got to watch out because he could creep up on you in his golf cart at any moment when you're on the back fields here.
Just throwing Alex right in the fire. Hey, Alex, your first night. Interview the owner. Go.
She'll be just fine. Here's Michael A. A lot of chatter in recent days about Taylor working on his swing. Fastball slips past him there, 1-1. 353 at bats last year. It kind of didn't seem like he got that many because once Juan Soto showed up, Michael A's playing time really got curtailed. 134 games total.
Well, he's working on a new approach. He's just kind of lifting his foot up. Not a lot of movement with his hands. He's working on taking low pitches that should be balls for strikes. But it's a simplified approach. He went down to the Dominican Republic, played a few games, then got dinged up down there, and he looks a lot stronger to me than he did last year.
Kevin Long watching. 1-2 pitch. Fastball just stayed inside.
Makeup call.
K. Long, one of the busiest guys running from field to field, cage to cage here, with so many different things going on in the backfields. If you've never been to the complex, you really have to get down here and see it because there's so much going on in so many different locations. Something with the mitt of Max Stassi. One of those tough guys from Sacramento.
Well, if he's tough, he wouldn't need a glove.
My favorite catcher from Sacramento is still Gino Petralli. When I was with the Texas Rangers, I think 2 years before he was in the big leagues, he was working at the Dr. Pepper bottling plant in Sacramento.
Nice.
Michael A. waiting for the breaking ball, and straight back it goes.
Well, when your manager is a former catcher, he can fix that glove. It's A.J. Hinch playing with that thing. There he is. It's like, I know how to fix one of these, but I might need some help right now. You got one of them tool things that you can string it through with?
That is not Brian Snitker, the Atlanta manager.
When you've won a World Series, you just go, hey, Snitker, fix this.
2-2. Taylor making contact twice on a 2-strike count.
Flip to the heel, shorter approach, staying in the at-bat longer.
So fewer moving parts, is that what this is all about?
And when you don't play every day, he has aspirations to start in center field, and I say don't give up on Michael A. Taylor. He's such a talented player, especially on the defensive side. But, a lower maintenance swing is conducive to not playing every day. You don't have as many moving parts.
This one jammed him up and in, and he popped it up to Aledmys Diaz.
It's not a bad at-bat.
Second out. You are correct, sir. And that'll bring in Wilmer Defoe. Michael A. Taylor will be a major contributor to this team. So here's Wilmer. Did just about everything the Nats asked of him last year. 148 games, over 400 at bats. Batting average faded a bit toward the end of the season. He did hit 7 homers and drove in 42. Breaking ball, backdoor in there. Stole 10 bags. By the way, Max Scherzer threw 2 innings tonight, 44 pitches, 25 strikes. 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. And Wilmer thought it was a fastball, too late by the time he had started his swing. Pretty good stuff shown by the guy coming off the injury here, Brady Rogers. NFP, I know you're not supposed to start at Jory with 2 outs, but we can continue this one if the inning ends. As a former player, you know what Rogers and Howie have gone through coming back from these injuries.
I do, and we'll talk about it next inning, Carp.
But in spring training, you can set the stage for a story with 2 outs, according to the Big League Broadcaster's Manual.
Clock time good. We're tuned to the hum of your business, finding ways to outsmart the weather, the traffic.
Nationals baseball, and I am joined now by left-hander Sean Doolittle. Sean, as we embark on another season, another spring training, how's camp going so far?
It's going great. I mean, this so far is obviously the highlight. I mean, how cool is this? We're finally playing baseball again, under the lights, no less. Having Max on the mound to start the game. It's just another step towards opening day, but camp's been going great so far. We have a lot of new faces, so we've been getting to know a lot of these new guys, and it's been fun. There's a great energy around camp so far, and it's been really exciting.
You bring up the new faces, so a new look bullpen. What specifically do you like about this new look bullpen?
There's a lot to like. I think the depth is one of the best parts about the bullpen, because one silver lining of last year was we were able to get a lot of guys some really good experience, pitching in some situations that maybe they weren't slated to pitch in at the beginning of the season. Guys like Matt Grace and Wander Suero made some really big strides for us last year, and I'm excited to see them kind of take the next step in their progression. Justin Miller coming back, he had a great year last year, but the new guys, like you mentioned, like Rosenthal and Bearclaw, these are 2 guys with really, really good stuff. They've always put up big strikeout numbers during the course of their career. They've always pitched in high leverage situations late in games. So I'm excited to share a bullpen with them. I'm excited to learn from them, watch the way they do their thing every day. I mean, Tanner Rainey throws 100 too. I mean, and it looks like it's really, really easy for him. So there's a lot of buzz around some of these guys, and it's been exciting to see them kind of do their thing so far.
We can't wait to see them soon. Now, for you personally, how many innings do you like to get in to feel ready for the regular season?
Anywhere from 7 to 10. It kind of varies. I'm usually on the lower end, provided things continue to go well, according to plan over the 6 or 7 weeks of spring training. But having an idea of what my role is going to be even during the season, it kind of changes the way that I approach spring training. I'm going to, I can take a little bit more of a developmental approach because I kind of know what my role is going to be. So when I'm out here, it gives me a chance to work on some of my secondary pitches, throw some sequences I might not have thrown during the season in the past, just to see how they work, if I can execute them the way that I want to see if that can be an option that we would use during the season. So, I mean, I'm not sure when my first game is going to be. I think I'm going to do a little bit more work on the backfields before I start working into games. But I'm feeling good, and I'm excited about where I'm at.
I'd like to hear that you're feeling good. You're coming off of a foot injury from last season. But what have you been doing to get yourself ready to go for 2019?
So the foot injury was a huge bummer. The timing of it really stunk, and in a way, it was really important for me to be able to come back, even though it was only for like 3 weeks at the end of the season, just so that I had that peace of mind going into the off season, that I knew I was okay, that I knew how to manage it, and that I didn't have to spend my whole off season kind of rehabbing that injury. I had a pretty normal off season. It did change some things. I have like a maintenance program I have to kind of do for some of the muscles and stuff in my foot, some barefoot stuff. It kind of changed some of my running progressions over the off season, but it's responding really well to everything we've thrown at it in camp so far this year, so it's doing well.
Sean, before we let you go, we all have June 15th circled on our calendars because it is Star Wars Day. You're going to be the featured, you'll have a bobblehead, and you've been behind the design. What can we expect from this bobblehead, Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Hey, so this is one of the highlights of my career. And I'm not even kidding. I'm so excited. Last year, I had my first ever bobblehead in the big leagues, and it came out great. And this year, we're taking it up a notch to the Star Wars bobblehead. You know, it's been really cool because they've let me have some say in the design. You know, they brought me in to make sure we got the lightsaber color right. It's blue, by the way, just like Obi-Wan's lightsaber in A New Hope during his duel with Darth Vader. You know, the color of the robe. I think the robe's going to have a hood that you can, you know, put up and down. I still haven't seen a finished product, but a lot of the stuff, as they've sent me pictures going through the steps of the process, it's going to be so much fun. I'm really looking forward to it. We did some really cool promo stuff on you know, photo day and some video stuff as well. So that's one of the, you know, the nerdy things that I'm really into away from baseball. So the fact that I have a bobblehead that kind of captures some of that character and stuff, I'm really excited.
Hey, well, you're a left-hander. We know that you're different, so may the force be with you this spring training. Thank you, Sean, for your time.
Thank you very much.
Gentlemen.
Well, 25 saves for Sean last year. He got 45 innings in despite the injuries, and we too look forward to the bobblehead. And by the way, if you hadn't noticed, Joe Ross dealing so far. I like the run on the fastball, and he's shown a couple of nice sliders so far.
And changeups as well. A pitch that he's working on to incorporate more in his arsenal. A pitch that he threw just 8% of the time throughout the majority of his Nats career, 2015, 16, and 17. He threw 21% of the time last year. So a guy that primarily was fastball slider, trying to incorporate that third pitch to give you something else to think about.
He did get 16 very important innings under his belt late in the season, spanning 3 starts, 17 hits, 9 earned runs. Just great to see Joe Ross back. Hey, he's still a pup. 25 years of age. He has gotten Marisnik on a grounder and got Derek Fisher looking. Aledmys Diaz 0-2 here, battling to stay alive. And Joe locates a fastball away. It's 1-2. Nothing wrong at all with having a bunch of guys competing for that supposed 5th starter spot behind Scherzer, Strasburg, Corbin, and Anibal Sanchez. Hellickson in the mix. Nats just signed him last week. And then, of course, Eric Fetty is out there. He'll be pitching tomorrow for the Nats. So you kind of get the feeling, and we've heard that Jeremy Hellickson brought back for that role. It's up to the young guys to try to throw a chink into that idea. There's a good, pretty good slider down and away, and it got C.B. Buckner after the foul tip. So FP, a very veteran starting 5 right now in that rotation.
I mean, you can make the argument that it's the best rotation in baseball. And, you know, you watch the MLB Network, they're already talking about that. Derek Lilliquist is starting 4 or 5, however you want to put it.
And we all know the better your rotation is, the longer the bullpen stays viable and healthy and dangerous for August and September. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I didn't know in the first Tanner for Tanner trade in the history of Major League Baseball that the Tanner the Nats got throws 100 miles an hour until Sean Doolittle just said that.
Yeah.
So the new Tanner throws way harder than the old Tanner, but we're going to miss the old Tanner a lot because he was a good Nat.
It's weird to come to camp and Tanner Roark is not here. There they are, the big 5. 3-2. Joe lost him. He was way ahead. Pretty good at bat by Aledmys Diaz, who battled back from an 0-2 count. So a ground ball, a strikeout, now a walk, and Kyle Tucker is next for the Houston Astros. Base hit beyond the backhand reach of Matt Adams his first time up. By the way, for those of you interested, a little later tonight, we are scheduled to see the Keyboom brothers on the diamond together. Carter for Defoe later, Spencer for Gomes later. Nats are nice enough under Davies' leadership to kind of give us an idea of who's going to come in later for whom, and that really helps us out. And by the way, I know you're looking forward to this, FP. Aaron Barrett scheduled to pitch in this game.
Yeah, a long way back. Not just happy to be here. He wants to pitch in the big leagues again. Caught up with him the other day. We'll talk a lot about him when he comes out. I'm looking forward to it. And I'll tell you what, Carter Kieboom. First of all, he's 21 years old and he's number 8 in camp. So
yeah, uniform
usually you're number
8.
88 in camp when you're 21 years old. So that tells you what the Nats are thinking about this guy. And just watching him walk around, looking at his frame and watching the way he carries himself, he just looks like a big leaguer.
And he's put on some mass and muscle since we last saw him as well.
And his locker in the clubhouse is back where all the big boys are, next to Trey Turner, next to Ryan Zimmerman. So they're grooming Carter. I'll tell you what, Carter, I watched him. This is a lofty comparison. He reminds me of a young Troy Tulowitzki. And the way he carries himself, it's just, I mean, of all the guys that I've seen down here in just 2 days, I didn't know he was that put together. I thought he was a little bit skinnier.
Yeah, he's solid.
You'll see him in a minute. Then you're going to see him at Nats Park this year. There's no doubt about it.
Pretty good jammage there. Long run for Rendon, and Anthony was playing so far over toward shortstop. No way to reach the foul ball off the bat of Kyle Tucker. But a good pitch by Joe, got up and in on the lefty. Davey said this afternoon, based on how it goes, Joe might get 2 innings tonight. And then with Barrett and Henderson Alvarez, some of the other guys scheduled to pitch later, maybe Sammy Solis, those guys would be an inning at a time. Top of the 3rd in the Grapefruit League opener. Jake Marisnick, leadoff homer, first inning for them. Juan Soto, 1-out RBI single for the Nats in the bottom of the 1st. 1-1 it remains. So Joe's career numbers: 17 wins, 15 losses. He's made 48 big league starts, 3 other relief appearances. And he jams the left-handed hitter again, this one into a fly ball to left, and it just wasn't hit hard enough to carry out to Soto. So a pair of 2-out base runners, a walk and a flare. And Tyler White, the 3rd baseman, will be the hitter.
There's the Bear, getting hot. He's got the jacket on his right shoulder. Aaron Barrett.
The Bear had a white wig under his ball cap this afternoon. Not sure what that was all about.
They had some fun before they stretched today, but just, I can't imagine what's going through his mind after the Tommy John surgery and then coming back from that and basically breaking his arm in 2 in minor league camp. Everybody that was there said it was one of the worst things they've ever seen. So all the pins and surgeries and coming back, and we talked to him in the clubhouse the other day. He's not just happy to be here. The goal is to get back to the major leagues, and he's just a wonderful human being. He affected everybody he played with in the minor leagues last year with the Nats in such a positive way that you talk to Nats people and they say someday he's going to make a great instructor, but in the meantime he wants to get back to the big leagues. And we all remember Aaron Barrett, his first go around. We fell in love with the guy, and I can't imagine what's going through his mind. And I was told, hey, they just wanted to get him out there, not just as a reward for all your hard work, but let's get it over with. Let's get you back on the mound. Let's get you out there the first game. And I can't imagine the size of the butterflies in Aaron Barrett's stomach right now.
Keep him loose, Sammy. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs. Good pitch, down and away. Unreachable for the right-handed hitter. 1-2. See some action on this one.
Yeah, a little cutter slider deal from Joe Ross. Nice pitch.
Two on, 2 out, 1-1 game, top of the 3rd. Similar location, the hitter that time not biting. Runners on the move here in a moment if it goes to 3-2. As Joe Ross was just off the strike zone there. Steady breeze out toward left field tonight. This ballpark is laid out just opposite of what we used to have in Vieira, a couple of 100 miles north of us, where the wind always blew out toward right off the ocean. And a 2-2 pitch. Target inside, and he gets the pop-up, jamming the hitter. Who's taking charge? Looks like Rendon. Anthony has it. Scoreless inning for Joe Ross. Time for a cool one here at the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. Baseball on Masson, brought to you by Nissan. There's big news at Nissan now. Get big savings. Shop, choose Nissan.com. Think they're going to sell some number 22 jerseys this year? And some number 7s as well. Game summary.
Tied at 1 as we go to the bottom of the third. Max Scherzer sat between 92 and 95 miles an hour tonight, if you're wondering. He topped out at 97. Adam Eaton got on with a base hit. There goes the long winner. There goes the no-hitter. And Juan Soto with a base hit to score him. Here it is. There's the first knock of the Grapefruit lead. And then Spanky just took off because he wanted to get dirty and steal second. And then this guy, you remember him, he's 20 now. He's really old and got gray hair. Base hit up the middle, that scores Adam Eaton.
That was a Wiley veteran at bat.
Juan Soto, ladies and gentlemen, how cool was that? Baseball is back.
Cy Sneed is from a little town in Nevada called Elko. Pitched at Dallas Baptist University. 35th rounder 8 years ago by the Rangers. He's never pitched in the big leagues, trying to make his way here. 10-6 at Houston's then AAA Fresno last year. And for the Nats, getting another look here at camp, Brandon Snyder in his early 30s. This is big league numbers so far. Parts of 5 different seasons with the Orioles, the Rangers, the Red Sox, and the Braves. By the way, he's a native of Centerville, Virginia. Went to Westfield High School in Chantilly. Brandon Snyder. And to follow Eaton and Kendrick here, bottom of the third. High riding fastball. First out, bottom 3.
All right, opening day is right around the corner. Tickets are on sale February 28th. Join the Free Nationals fan club to gain access to pre-sales and exclusive offers. Get your opening day tickets before the general public. Visit nationals.com/fan club to register.
Waiting for some high fly balls. Eaton had other ideas. Tyler White wasn't playing that far back, and Adam wanted to still see if he could drop one in there for a base hit.
Well, he didn't bunt a whole lot last year because I don't think the wheels were underneath him, but you remember him as a Chicago White Sox. He was one of the best bunters in all of baseball. For a hit.
Yeah.
Base hit bunting.
Loud foul ball. Nice effort by the ball person down there.
Spring training for him too.
Yeah, ball was hooking severely.
0 for 1. Nice try.
Yeah, well.
Good effort.
That's what we say at the end of every telecast. Nice try, guys.
Way to slow it down.
Yeah, game will slow down for him about March. Of course, call this home as well. A lot of Astro fans here, a lot of Nats fans, and Cy Sneed coming out with a couple of swinging Ks here in the third inning. Next up, Howie Kendrick.
Tell you what, this place is so big. You don't even see the Astros when you
It's
come
unbelievable.
Here. It's like the Nats are the only team here, and I'm sure if you ask the Astros, they'll tell you the same thing.
Ball framed back in there for a strike by Max Stassi. Howie, high chopper to third, first time up. That was in between the Eaton single, steal, and the Soto RBI hit 2 innings ago.
With the first game as a player, you get in that batter's box as a hitter, and it just, you know, a lot of times you feel like, wow, did I ever play baseball before? The velocity looks a little more firm. You're trying to get your strike zone locked in. The bat feels a little heavier, even though if you're swinging all winter long and doing all your work. you know, the muscle memory, the flexibility, all that kind of comes throughout the course of spring. But I just remember those first at-bats in the first game. You have the adrenaline.
Right.
But that's about all you have. And natural hitters like Howie Kendrick, Anthony Rendon, Ryan Zimmerman, they're going to hit. But for the mere mortals, I swear every winter you forgot how to hit. And it was always a process to get your eyes right, to see the velocity and recognize 95, get your strike zone set, barrel up a couple balls before you head north, and feel good about your approach. But I always remember spring as being just a big-time struggle as a hitter to get ready.
Ball away, swing and a miss. So Snead strikes out the side, and when we come back, Patrick Corbin visits with Alex Chappell.
We spoke with one of the Nationals left-handers earlier, and now I am with starting pitcher, lefty Patrick Corbin. Patrick, thanks for joining us. What's it like starting spring training and coming to a new organization?
Yeah, first time out here at this ballpark. It's beautiful. Just excited to see these guys, our guys face opposing team, get out here, get things rolling. Everybody's been working hard to get to this moment, so it's a long spring, and we're just excited.
What was it about the Nationals organization that was so attractive to you and your family?
I just think at first is the team that they do have here, the ownership, the front office. Got to sit down with them, just a great group of people, and then the young talent that's here, the players that they have. I feel this team's going to be good for a long time, and that's exciting to me. To be able to join this rotation is also something I'm looking forward to.
You bring up joining this rotation. You said it was great to watch some of your teammates already tonight. What did you think about Max Scherzer on the mound tonight?
Yeah, he treats every game like any other day. He comes prepared, comes to work, and tries to go out there, compete, and try to strike everybody out or things like that is what I hear. But I just think, as a starter, you get to go out there every fifth day, go out there, compete, and that's what you love to do, and that's something that I'm going to enjoy watching him and myself be able to do every fifth day.
Patrick, for you at spring training, what do you want to accomplish? What do you want to do that you say to yourself, okay, I'm ready to head back up north?
For a starter, you're just trying to build up your pitch count, get close to 100 pitches at the end of camp. So you just work backwards from there, and my first one will be Monday. We'll go 2 innings, kind of something like Max did today, and just continue to build up and go out there and just execute pitches, try to command your fastball and things like that.
Now, after pitching in the NL West for 6 years, coming here now to the NL East, it's, as you know, competitive division, but also it's loaded after a lot of off-season moves. What do you like about the Nationals' chances?
Yeah, I think we're just as good as any other team in Major League Baseball from top to bottom. We're a very deep ball club, so it's going to be tough, but I think we're looking forward for the challenge. You want to face the best, and that's why we're here, and that's why we do what we do.
So not only new team, but congratulations are also in order because of some big off-season exciting news for you. You got married to your high school sweetheart, Jen. Where did you get married?
Yeah, in Phoenix, at a resort out there. Just it was a good excuse for a lot of the family to leave Syracuse and come down to some warm weather. So it was a busy off-season. Got to do that, and the honeymoon was signing here. So just a very special off-season that we'll always remember and enjoy.
Well, you'll have to talk to FP. Maybe he can give you some different advice on where you could go to your honeymoon. He was quite the world traveler this off-season. Patrick, thank you so much for your time, guys.
Travel tips from FP. Thought I'd never hear that in spring training. Hey, Patrick Corbin, 11 wins last year, but a 3.15 ERA. He was an all-star. He was 5th in the Cy Young voting. So the Nats have 2 of the top 5 guys in last year's Cy Young voting. And we all know what Steven Strasburg is capable of if he stays healthy all year.
When Christian Yelich went to the Brewers last year, I said for the first time he's going to get to play in a hitter's ballpark. His numbers are going to be what they should be. He played all those years in Miami and suffered because of that yard. Patrick Corbin's home ballpark in Arizona is a launching pad. He's put up tremendous numbers playing 81 games in a ballpark that's likened to Coors Field a lot of times. He's going to be pitching a fair ballpark this year for the first time. So from a pitching standpoint, it could be a similar comparison to what Christian Yelich went through finally getting to hit in the hitter's ballpark. Corbin pitching in a fair ballpark.
Yeah, great call. And Nationals Park obviously plays bigger in April, first part of May, than it does later in the season. But you use the key word. It's a fair ballpark. And I think pitchers, that's all you're asking for, because they know if they make good pitches, they'll be just fine.
But the division, Carp, I mean, the NL West, you know, Los Angeles, San Francisco, San Diego, those are fun pitchers parks.
They are.
Obviously, Coors Field in Arizona, not so much. So I would look for his numbers based on, you know, being with Max Scherzer and the influence that Max has on everybody, his ability and maybe his desire to show that he's worth the contract and pitching in a fair ballpark. Look for his numbers to be
hard hit ball. Wilmer Defoe recovers. Solid 2 innings for Joe Ross. Fly ball, strikeout, grounder. Juan Soto's already 1 for 1 with the Nats' only RBI so far. He's next. Well, it took an amazing season by Ronald Acuna Jr. to beat Juan Soto out for Rookie of the Year last year. But how about the way he stayed on the ball and drove it the other way? Look at the slugging percentage on balls hit the other way. Homer at Yankee Stadium, right down the line in left center field bullpen at Nationals Park on occasion. The kid was just unbelievable in so many different ways.
Well, you saw the Soto shuffle right there. Davey Martinez is trying to get him to tone it down a little bit, but there's a fine line between, you know, keeping the swagger and the confidence and kind of putting it to rest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think you could do the Soto shuffle and keep all the confident moves. It just shows you how engaged he is in the at-bats without taking it too far. And what's taking it too far, you'll maybe stare out at the pitcher a little too long while you're doing it after an at-bat. I think if you keep your head down and do it, and just keep your mannerisms. What a thrill it was to watch this kid play last year. I mean, his first start, going opposite field home run, seeing all the kids at the Dominican Baseball Academy going nuts. It was wonderful.
Tell you what, nobody's touching Cy Young Snead so far. 4 swinging strikeouts in a row. By the way, when Juan Soto came to the big leagues last year, he was 19 years, 206 days old. The only younger Nat was Bryce Harper back in 12. Bryce was 19 years, 196 days. And whatever happens in the days to come, we wish Bryce the best. Hope he gets his situation straightened out soon, wherever he may be headed. And we just, you know, we don't want you folks to think we're not going to talk about Bryce Harper tonight, but, you know, he's not on our ball club. We got a lot of great guys that are, and wherever Bryce goes, we wish him well.
Unless it's Philadelphia, then you're on your own, big boy.
Well, and then FP for the final time in his career will have said, let Bryce play, because we'll walk him all year, right?
Well, I mean, it's hard to feel.
That's going to be an interesting dynamic.
Hey, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit up here and blow smoke. It's hard to feel sorry for someone who turns down 10 years, $300 million.
Yeah.
I mean, the Nats offered a more than fair contract. I can't relate to it. I can't tell you how much my phone blew up with former Major League players texting me when he turned that down. The question mark on the kid's jersey. So we'll see what happens if he painted himself into a corner and his only choice is Philadelphia. I feel like just talking to people around here that the Nats have moved on.
Seems that way. Anthony Rendon popped up to second first time up.
Which means there's more money in the pot for the guy that just swung.
He popped that one up a long way to left. See you later. 2-1 Washington.
Tremendous see you later, Bob Carpenter, your first of the year. Cy Snead had it going on. Looked like a change-up there to Tony Two Bags, who went Tony Four Bags. And as we talk about Bryce Harper moving on somewhere else, the guy that the Nats fans and the Nats are hoping signs a big contract, goes deep as if on cue, like it was a sign or something.
There can be karma in February. We all know that. Anthony hit 24 last year. Here's Matt Adams. Hit the ball hard first time, but because the shift was on, Nick Tanalou threw him out from short right field. So it's Soto and Rendon, your numbers 3 and 4 hitters, delivering RBIs so far. Pitch up, back to the screen, 1-2.
How's your see you later? You all right? Is that good?
Just
like
now caught my breath.
Oh, hey, you got to get in shape.
Rendon takes my breath away at times.
Well, you know,
he's that good.
You say him enough. You're building up to it. You should be out of breath.
This one a mile high to the right side. Tanalou under it. Kyle Tucker behind him. Second baseman will take it. 2 down. That'll bring in Yan Gomes.
Show me the tater again. Yeah, changeup just floated down and in. Watch him just drop the barrel on it. A see you later, making all Nats fans at home happy because it was Anthony Rendon. Bob Carpenter said it, and the Nats are up 2-1. And it's already the 4th inning. That 20-second clock is working so well.
Have heard nary a complaint about it, but they're not enforcing it at this point. They won't for a couple of weeks. We'll see how that all shakes out. Can you imagine a playoff game between the Red Sox and the Yankees and a 20-second pitch clock? Are you kidding me?
Well,
they play 3.5 7-inning games, 3.5 hours. That ball appeared to be knuckling on Miles Straw. Gomes hit it extremely well. And watch the swing, watch the fly ball, watch where it lands. Anthony Rendon with a smile on his face. Home run of the spring. First time, Nats on top.
Looking like he's in mid-season form, and I am joined now by principal owner Mark Lerner. Mr. Lerner, baseball is back. What do you like about your ball club?
Well, I certainly like all of our additions in the offseason. Very excited about that, starting with Patrick Corbin. I think he'll be an incredible addition, and I don't think he's reached his potential yet. And certainly everybody else. And we got a bonus with Howie Kendrick, healthy and looking fantastic in spring training so far. So very excited about it.
Now you've been here since day one of spring training. What's the sense? What's the vibe that you're getting around this clubhouse?
It's actually a very great vibe. I'm excited about it. I've heard the same thing from a lot of the players. They feel it, and hopefully it'll continue into the season.
You know, we were just talking to Patrick Corbin about this coming over to the NL East. We know it's going to be a competitive division this year. How do you like the Nationals' chances?
Well, I always go into it hoping that we're going to get to the playoffs, and after that we'll see what happens. And this year's no different. I think we got a great club, and the key, like everybody else, got to stay healthy. And let's get out of West Palm Beach healthy first of all, and then we'll go from there. But I think our chances are as good as anybody's.
Davey Martinez going into year 2 for him. What are your expectations for the skipper?
Well, I think that he learned a lot last year. I think it's going to make him a better manager this coming season. I like Davey a lot. I think he's a bright young man, and I think that the team, again, stays healthy, plays its potential. We'll be where we should be at the end of the season.
So beautiful night here at the ballpark. For fans watching at home, why should they come down to West Palm Beach and take in a game here?
Short sleeve shirts. Notice that's the first thing. No, the weather's been great. We have a fabulous ballpark. I'm prejudiced about that wonderful place to come watch a game. So much to do down here, and 85-degree days don't hurt.
We saw, Anthony Rendon, his home run, Max Scherzer on the mound to start tonight's game. These veterans that you have, what do they mean to this ball club? What do they bring year in, year out?
Well, certainly Max is, everybody knows his story. He pitched last Tuesday, his first outing out on one of outer fields, and he felt like it was the 7th game of the World Series, the way he approached things. So it's the veterans. I think the veterans feel really confident about this team. And there's something in the air that a lot of us are recognizing about this team and just the way they're going about their business.
We love to hear that. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time.
Welcome to the team.
Oh, I appreciate it. Bob.
Thank you, Alex. Thanks, Mark. And here he is, Aaron Barrett, top of the 5th inning, 2-2 count. Had the hitter reaching, ball hits the mound, trying to save it. Good effort by Adrian Sanchez, but a base hit for Miles Straw. So we welcome the Bear back. Hey, sometimes guys get a piece of a good pitch and it's perfectly placed, and that's what happened there. Aaron's 31 years of age now. Last time he was in the big leagues was for 40 games in 2015. 29 innings, 28 hits back then. His debut in 2014 was spectacular with a .266 ERA in 50 games his rookie year. Lorenzo Quintana for Jake Marisnick here in the DH spot.
Oh, there he is. It's got to feel good just to be back in a big league mound for the first time in forever. One of the toughest people you'll ever meet. One of the most positive individuals you ever meet.
Nats, by the way, changes all over the defense. We'll bring you up to date in a moment. Spencer Keyboom is the catcher, by the way. His little brother's not at short yet because Wilmer Defoe and Michael A. Taylor, who's still in center, are scheduled for their second at bats coming up bottom 5. Changes all around when the ball finds these guys. We'll bring you up to date. And we all know that when you come into a major league game, the ball will find you. Pretty cool to have brothers in camp together, huh?
It is. It's pretty cool to see Aaron Barrett back on the mound. You remember he had the Tommy John surgery. They found bone chips in his elbow that damaged his UCL, his ulnar collateral ligament. That's how he had Tommy John surgery. He still has those bone chips in a jar at home. So a year after the surgery, he was in Vieira, Florida, and his arm snapped in the middle of a pitch. Doctors said they've never seen an arm look like that.
Runner goes, pitch up and in, looked like a changeup, and then a tailing throw by Keyboom in there easily. Miles Straw with the Astros' first bag tonight.
They said the damage to his arm, Carp, the doctors did, was more believable if he got in a car accident than throwing a pitch on the mound.
Wow.
They loaded his arm up with all kinds of stuff, pins. They'd wondered if he'd ever even throw again. But through hard work, a positive attitude, and going back to the minor leagues and trying to figure it out, he's back on a mound.
That's a 4-pitch walk, first and second, nobody out.
Yeah, go to first. What are we waiting for?
Yeah, there should be a clock on how long you can take to get to first base after a walk. Derek Fisher will be the next hitter, his 3rd time up tonight. Let's go back to that 2015 Aaron Barrett season.
Well, the stare down is what I remember from 2015 with Aaron Barrett outside the dugout, right? In Colorado with his helmet on backwards and the goggles, and they gave him power bars. But this is Aaron Barrett on the mound.
I forgot about that.
With the filthy slider. I mean, his fastball is mid-90s. So I asked him, I caught up with him the other day. I talked to him for about 20 minutes in his locker. I said, where are you at? He said, it's a mystery how it's going to come out. I don't know how hard I'm going to throw. I don't know what adrenaline's going to do to me. He's developed a changeup. He told me he has a new pitch, the changeup. But I think you can tell we really like Aaron Barrett, and we are rooting for him big time. He's got a kid now. He's all grown up, Carp.
Yeah, he is. It's a pretty good breaking ball that got in on the hands of the left-hander Fisher. So we'll just tell you that behind Aaron Barrett, Matt Reynolds is at 3rd. Adrian Sanchez at 2nd. Jose Marmolejos is at first base. Chuck Taylor in right. Hunter Jones will replace Michael A. in center shortly. And Andrew Stevenson is out there in left field for Soto.
In case you're wondering, Carp, the first pitch he threw as a fastball was 91 miles an hour.
Okay.
The gun's down, but the truck's telling me what the speed is.
Yeah.
That'll play. There's the changeup.
2-1 Nats as we play here, top of the 5th. Slow tapper. It's going to be grabbed by Marmolejos before it can go foul. So a ground ball out moves both runners up.
Pretty good changeup right there. Bottom kind of dropped out of it late. Might as well show it to you again, right? On top of it, watch the fade, way out in front, chops it off the dirt in front of home plate.
Third at bat coming for Aledmys Diaz here. Marmolejos, quick glance toward the runner over third. And then the tag.
If I remember right, he won that stare down in Colorado.
He did.
And then proceeded to celebrate the Nats dugout like he won Game 7 of the World Series.
He was storming up and down the dugout like he just hit one into the rock pile at Coors Field. So Diaz, a base hit and a walk so far. One. Pitch up, but it had late movement to get the foul ball. All right, we'll reset the defense for you. Chuck Taylor, Michael A. Taylor, Stevenson. And then Defoe still in there, but Carter Keyboom will be at short shortly.
Chuck Taylor wearing Converse?
Yeah.
Gotta be, doesn't he?
Chuck Taylor All-Stars. And of course Spencer, the older of the Keyboom boys, behind the plate. Here's a 1-2 from Aaron Barrett. He could use the strikeout. That was a pretty good 1-2 pitch on the breaker.
All right, here's the pitch clock. Oh, the suspense. Stop it.
First base dugout making some noise on the appeal, no swing.
I just heard someone in the dugout say spring trading for you too to an umpire, but I don't think he went. I think they got it right.
Baseball fans, we love them.
Might have been a baseball player, actually.
3-2 now. Got him on a big breaking ball. That's a huge second out for Aaron Barrett.
Kind of wanted to cheer right there.
Go
Really
ahead
did.
at spring training.
I mean, that's awesome. Just watch. It's a lot of hard work to throw that slider to get a strikeout. And how about the situation? Second and third, 1 out. You need a punch out and you get it. Pretty cool.
This is Yordan Alvarez hitting for Kyle Tucker. So 2 on, 2 out. Fastball right side.
Trying to get in sync. And Spencer Keyboom did such a nice job last year catching for the Nats. Remember, it was between he and Pedro Severino to go back to AAA, and the Nats chose Spencer because he was so valuable back there as a backup guy. Now with Kurt Suzuki and Yan Gomes, where does Spencer go? But hey, strange things happen in baseball. You never know, and we're big fans of Spencer Keyboom.
2-0. Astros have 2 hits since that 3-hit, 1-run first inning. So Max Scherzer, 1 run in 2 innings. Joe Ross, 1 hit, no runs in his 2 innings. And Barrett, the 3rd in line tonight for this inning. Ball ripped up the middle, and it's going to drive in at least 1 and maybe 2. Taylor up with it. Strong throw, but late. They're going to get the runner at second, but the Astros take the lead. So Aaron Barrett will come off the mound after his first inning in the big leagues in the last 3 years, and lots of greetings waiting for him. Montreal to come to Washington to become the Nationals. All of us who were around the ball club and the organization at that time really value the time we had with one of the most fierce competitors this game has ever seen, the late, great Frank Robinson. Michael A. Taylor, high fly ball, bottom of the 5th. Alvarez takes it in right field, and that's how the bottom of the 5th inning gets underway. So let's check out Frank as a skipper. First of all, a little later with Montreal after his days in Cleveland. There he is wearing number 20. That's a number Ian Desmond would later wear as a tribute to the skipper that was heading the Nats when he came to the National League. President Bush came out to throw out the first pitch one year, and Frank enjoying him as baseball returned to D.C. after 33 years of being gone. So Cleveland to San Francisco to Baltimore, Montreal, and D.C. Unbelievable career. Frank Robinson broke some barriers and brought a lot of people together in this great game.
Well, if there was a Mount Rushmore for baseball, he'd be smack dab right in the middle of it. I think anybody who came across him was a lucky individual, and he'll be missed.
We all feel that way. Very well said, partner. This is Brian Abreu, the 3rd hurler of the night for the Houston Astros. He's from Santo Domingo. 2 levels of A ball for the Houston organization last year, and he had a great ERA, a 1.64 at Quad Cities, their high A ball club, 1.13 at Tri-City. Young Brian Abreu. Brandon Snyder, second at bat, swinging strikeout, first time up.
Sorry,
pretty good heater.
Sorry, I'm texting Aaron Barrett right now. Tell him nice job.
Thank you, sir. And if I know Bear, he's going to text you back and say, get back to work.
Well, he's probably bummed he gave up a couple runs, but I think it's more important than that. It's way bigger than that. And that's just the start of him getting back to the big league. So that made my night.
Breaking ball, waiting for it, hitting it well to the left side, Brandon Snyder. And that will be it for the Nats. They go 1-2-3 for the 3rd time tonight. 3-2 game.
Old Dominion.
2-3-0 Nats. It's a new era here on Masson, and it's great to have our studio guys down here in West Palm with us. You know that guy on the right, you know that guy on the left. Dan Kolko, you get to work with Bo Porter this year, and we can't wait to see what you guys have for us.
Thanks a lot, Bob, and I can't wait to work alongside Bo every single day, pre-post. We're going to be talking baseball all along with Nats fans, breaking down all the big plays throughout the course of games. We're going to have some fun along the way, maybe some demonstrations. Bo showing us some of the immense amount of baseball knowledge that he has, and Bo, I'm fired up to work with you.
I am absolutely excited, looking forward to the 2019 season. Get a chance to work with Dan, night in and night out, in-depth analysis of all the Nats games. What more can you like?
And we're going to follow you guys, which is going to be pretty easy. I was going to make a compliment, but you guys have been taking shots at me for the last 5 years. So we're going to one-up you on a nightly basis. How about that?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting, Dan, that dynamic, because for your 5 years so far, the booth has always had the last word. You can kill us in nights when we can't even hear you when we're going home in our cars from the ballpark.
Yeah, so be careful. Be careful. But no, you guys do a great job during the game. Alex is going to add a lot from down here at field level, and Bo and I can't wait to add a little bit on the pre and post for sure.
It's just so good to have Bo Porter back around Nationals territory. My favorite Bo Porter moment, and I think every Nats fan knows where I'm going when he wanted to fight the whole Chicago Cubs team. The Nats hit 20 home runs in that series, and all of a sudden the Cubs had enough, and they started drilling the players, for those of you who don't remember. And then Bo, coaching third base, was getting chirped at a little bit. Bo, can you take us through that real quick and tell us how that whole thing developed now that you're back and on the broadcast side? It's a great story.
I tell you one thing, the game is never over. So my response to the Chicago Cubs, bench that day was, you guys can forfeit right now. We can just stop playing the game. But at that point, when you look at the fact that we had some big leads early in the season and teams were able to come back on us, you cannot come off the pedal. You got to keep playing, and we kept playing that whole series.
And they got mad about it.
They got really mad about it. But I had to defend our guys.
You got to.
Absolutely, you have to.
And you're the one in the third base coach's box that's the closest to the visiting team dugout.
But not only that, I took it for like 2 or 3 innings. The third base umpire, he walks over to me. He said, Bo, I'm not going to throw you out of this game. You know why? Because I was waiting for you to respond.
Fair enough. Hey, Bo, we like the competitive fire that you brought to our coaching staff. I have heard from so many Nationals fans who are so excited to have you back in the fold, and we can't wait for you and Dan and see what you guys have to bring us.
Well, I'll tell you what, we have an exciting team to cover. I mean, when you look at this Washington Nationals team, it's youth, it's veteran leadership. I'm just looking forward to a great 2019 season.
All right, we've heard enough of Coco, so thanks, Bo. Hey, go entertain him for the last couple innings. He doesn't know what to do with himself.
Yeah, I'm lost.
No, Coco's not lost. He's having fun.
Boys, we're really looking forward to it, and can't wait to be back for another season and bring Nationals baseball to fans in the D.C. area and across the country.
Well, congratulations to you, Dan. I know we gave you a lot of stuff, but we don't do that unless we like somebody. And it was cool for Bob and I to see you go from a MASNsports.com reporter to be an on-air guy, and to go from a guy that really didn't know what you were doing when you started. We had talks about, hey, just loosen up, be yourself, to now the whole D.C. region has fallen in love with you, and to see your career blossom like this, congratulations. We're happy for you, and we look forward to interacting with you guys all season long.
Thanks a lot, FP. Means a lot. Bob, thanks as well, and can't tell you how excited I am.
And what he really meant was you were nothing until you worked with us.
Well said, FP. Looking forward to working with you guys.
All right, Bo.
All right.
Hey,
thanks so much, fellas.
Have fun, guys.
All right, you too.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Bo Porter and Dan Coco, our new studio team this year. And just want to say real quickly, we thank Johnny Holiday and Ray Knight for their tremendous work through 12 years of Nats Extra in the studio, at the ballpark. Two of the classiest guys we've ever met, dear friends. We're going to miss those guys. Want everybody to know that.
Yeah.
We know Dan and Bo will do a great job, but we're going to miss Johnny and Ray as well.
Well said.
Ball fouled off to the left side by Garrett Stubbs. And there is Carter Keyboom, and FP, we've got the Keyboom brothers on the field here at the same time. How great is that?
They are. I remember some brothers, and one of them wore number 8. The colors were different. I think they played a few games together in Baltimore.
Yeah, up the middle. Not a bad combination. Ripken over to whoever was at first.
Yeah, whoever. Guy had a tough year. He looks the part, doesn't he?
So a runner aboard with one out. The Nats are watching Henderson Alvarez on the mound here. Big league time with the Blue Jays, the Marlins. Last year, actually 2 years ago, 3 starts with the Phillies. He's from Valencia, Venezuela.
I remember him pitching some real good games against the Nats when he was a Marlin.
Had a no-no with the Marlins,
yes,
right?
He did. A walk-off no-hitter, if I remember right.
He was an all-star. Got some Cy Young votes back in 14 when he went 12-7. And that ball well hit by Stubbs into right field. Lead runner will stop at second. The Astros have 4 hits now in the last 2 innings. Nick Tanalou still in the ball game at second base. He'll be the hitter.
He's got 4 seconds to throw this.
He's got 1 second to come set.
You know what happens? It's like on Austin Powers when the bad guys just their chair went down. The trap door opens on the mound and you just go straight down.
You're gone.
You're done.
But what's going to happen when a hitter is really slow getting into the box? You know, there are situations here that are going to have to be a judgment call for the home plate umpire to get him in the box so that the pitcher can stick to his sequence. This thing's going to get complicated at times.
And nothing on a foul ball. I mean, you bring up a good point, Carl, a real good point. I would think the home plate umpire's responsibility would be to kind of wave him into the box. Now what do? We reset the clock on the timeout?
Yeah, I guess so. Sanchez jockeying with the runner Abraham Toro at second base, and then the step off by Alvarez.
There's no clock now.
That ball is way, way, way out of here. Almost to the Astros front office up there. And a monstrous 3-run homer by Nick Tanalou has put the Astros up 6-2.
A good way to get the attention of the front office to hit a home run off their office. I don't want 81. I want a lower number. You go deep like this, the fastball just kind of drifted into the inner half, and watch Tanalou just give it a ride. That's a tape measure shot, folks. That's a hello, I want to make the team.
That's a non-roster guy hitting one a mile here. So Houston 4 of its 6 runs on homers tonight. There's a high chopper foul. Off the bat of Miles Straw, the center fielder, his 3rd AB of the night.
Can't be a plastic straw anymore. It has to be a paper straw.
You're right. And I found out in California last week they don't last very long.
They don't, do they?
No, they just.
I mean, I'm a fan of
they
them, but
wilt.
I'm
they
not
wilt.
a fan of them.
Yeah.
They just get all soggy.
1 ball, 1 strike.
But, you know, it's for a good cause.
Yeah, the planet is a good cause.
It
You're
is.
right. 1-1 with 1 out. Little cut action to that fastball that goes outside. And then that one with some run back. So we're seeing 2 different fastballs from Alvarez here. 28 years of age. Non-roster invitation to spring training by the Nats. 3-2 on the breaking ball that dives into the dirt. Full count with 1 out. To the left of the pitcher and to his right, Adrian Sanchez, a very sure-handed defender for the second out.
All right, join us down here in spring training at the Fit Team Ballpark of the Palm Beaches. Discover the Palm Beaches and West Palm Beach, second home of your Washington Nationals. National spring training tickets are on sale right now. Visit nationals.com/spring. Tell you what, I had 10 of them down here with the Expos in West Palm Beach.
Yes, you did.
And now 3 with the Nats, so 13 spring trainings here, and I'm telling you, come down here. And, you know, not just for the baseball either. The weather's beautiful. You go over the intercoastal to Palm Beach, drive around, look at 20,000 square foot mansions that are worth $20 billion. Check out the Rolls Royces. Go to the beach. It's beautiful. It is. It's awesome down here, man. It's super bougie.
Well, and the great thing for the Nats, and we talked about this 2 years ago when this place first opened up, we now have 4 big league teams within 20 minutes of each other. Cardinals and Marlins to the north of us up in Jupiter. The Astros are right here. The Mets are about an hour and a half north of here. It's just a whole different thing than was Vieira. Called third strike. Lorenzo Quintana is out. Astros pick up a 3 spot though, and the Nats top of the order straight ahead. Park of the Palm Beaches. Here's our game summary. Anthony Rendon deep to left with 1 out in the 4th inning. Obviously first home run for the Nats in the spring. That was their second run. Juan Soto had singled a run home back in the 1st inning. What else is new? That was after an Adam Eaton single and a stolen base. And Max Scherzer was on the mound for the first couple of innings tonight. Gave up a solo homer to Jake Marisnick to start the ball game. Settled in after that. Only 2 more hits, no runs after that with a walk, 3 strikeouts. And if you keep track of such things, which I know a lot of you do with Max, 44 pitches, 25 strikes, and his 2019 spring debut.
All right, we showed you all the doubles the last 2 seasons, the most in all of baseball from Anthony Rendon. And how about this, a home run? Right out of bed, first spring training game, hitters can hit, and we all know that Anthony Rendon can hit. It was just strange how the whole thing happened. We were talking about Bryce Harper.
And then as if on cue.
He went deep.
And Anthony Rendon is everything you want in a third baseman. It's considered a power position. You know, the corner infielders, the outfielders. It's a place where you have to have production and runs driven in, runs scored, but also you need brilliant defense over there. And Anthony Rendon is the entire package for the Nats.
He is. He's a baseball player in every sense of the word.
Well, here's Andrew Stevenson. He came in to play left field for Soto, but he's actually batting in Adam Eaton's spot. And Andrew, he's lit us up a few times during spring training last couple of years. At the big league level last year, respectable, 19 hits and 75 ABs for a .253 average. He hit his first big league home run. Good speed, good defender. Sanchez is next. Second inning of work for the right-hander Brian Abreu. Had a 1-2-3, very quick, bottom of the 5th, getting Taylor, Defoe, and Snyder. Ball down, ground ball left side. Tanalou has it. 4 in a row for the right-hander. Next up, the versatile and valuable Adrian Sanchez. 276 for the Nats last year in 28 games. He was 16 for 58.
A lean Adrian Sanchez. Not that he wasn't lean, you could tell he worked hard.
Yeah, he showed us some pop on occasion. Drove in 3 runs, couple of doubles, a triple among those 16 hits. Fastball late for it, off to the right it goes.
I'll never forget the day he tried the bunt Got smoked right in the chest on a bunt attempt, went down. We were worried that it was somewhere around the heart region, which can be deadly. Then he dusted himself off, got back in the box, and I believe got a base hit and an RBI.
He did. Yeah, then removed from the game, but certainly heroic while he was in there. Great kid, great personality. One of those guys who's smiling around the ballpark and around camp all the time.
Yeah.
28 years of age, from Maracaibo, Venezuela. Signed with the Nats when he was 16 years old, nearly 12 years ago. Serves it beautifully to right field. It's kind of swing that'll put a smile on a hitting coach's face. Sanchez aboard. Only the Nats' 4th hit tonight.
Nice base hit, 2 strikes, spread out. Not a bad pitch, down in the zone. Although, our pitches down in the zone, bad pitches now. With the launch angle swings and the elevated fastball being in vogue. Do you tell pitchers to keep the ball up now when they leave the dugout for the mound?
There's a pitch up and a mile high out of play to the left side. Off the bat of Jose Marmolejos.
Do pitching coaches go out to the mound and tell their pitchers, hey, keep the ball up right here?
Keep the ball up.
Yeah,
there goes a century and a half of pitching coaching, right?
I mean, you used to hear conversations like, keep the ball down, get a ground ball, 1 pitch, we're out of here, double play. Maybe they run out now and say, hey, keep the ball up.
Keep the ball up. He's uppercutting and he can't get to it.
Throw it high.
Jose Marmolejos was an undrafted player when the Nats signed him at the age of 18 8 years ago. He's a former Nationals 2-time minor league player of the year in 15 and 16. That was at Hagerstown, and then the following year splitting between Potomac and Harrisburg. So he's had a lot of pop in the bat. Breaking ball down and in. He fouled it off to the right.
This is a fun name to say, isn't it?
It's very melodic. Marmolejos.
Jose Marmolejos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Just like Santangelo.
Yeah.
10 letters. At the knees. He's gone, 2 down. First strikeout by Abreu. And in West Palm Beach, come out to Brother Jimmy's on Monday nights during spring training. Nat Spring Training Live. You can enjoy seeing Charlie Slows and Dave Jagler in person for their show on 106.7 The Fan. Don't forget to wear your Nats gear. Receive 20% off at Brother Jimmy's. For details, visit nationals.com/spring. Little pitching change here. So 5 outs for Abreu. So FP, let's have a look. I know it's early, but everybody talking about what the National League East has done this year. Our old buddy Wilson Ramos is going to play at Citi Field. Robinson Cano from Seattle. Jed Lowry, great player in the American League. Some other names. Edwin Diaz, quite a closer in his days in Seattle.
Jeurys Familia coming back from the Oakland A's to the Mets. So, hey, we'll see. The division is the toughest one in baseball. Everybody's upgraded. The Braves won the division last year. They got better.
They bring back Brian McCann. He'll lead that pitching staff. Josh Donaldson, if healthy, MVP type player. And then Nick Markakis. His future was up in the air a little bit. And I think it's great that the Braves brought him back because he had some kind of year in 18.
A 90-win team. They got Josh Donaldson, what I think is the sneakiest move of the offseason. A 1 year, I think, $23 million deal. Brian McCann, who started his career with the Braves. Nick Markakis, who took less money to stay there after a career year when he was an all-star. And they won the division last year. They're the champs. You got to knock them out. So you can talk about the Nats. You can talk about the Mets. You can talk about the Phillies all you want. And maybe Bryce Harper going there. But in my mind, because they won the division, the Braves are the team to beat.
Agreed. And so JT Realmuto, coveted by everybody to catch. Phillies got him. Base hit machine, Gene Segura. Andrew McCutchen from the Giants to the Phils, back in the Eastern Time Zone. David Robertson, great years with the Yankees, and then Juan Nicasio. So the Phillies have definitely retooled and added to their ball club. They did a big-time fade at the end of the season, and now the guys we've talked about here that make the Nats even stronger.
But this is the way you want it. You want a good division. You want competition within your own division. You want competition throughout Major League Baseball. I see a lot of guys sitting at home right now, and everybody talks about 100 major leaguers sitting at home. You know, the quality guys, the guys that, you know, are maybe everyday players, more like 15 or 20. But I think when you talk about baseball, you want to have competition. You want your division to be like that. You want, if you come out of this battle where you're playing teams in your own division 19 times, to be tested and ready for October. So I don't think it did the Nats any favors when they won the National League East by 20 games. I mean, what did that get them? So now you have the Braves, who are the defending National League East champions, with one of the best players in baseball in Freddie Freeman, one of the former best players in baseball in Josh Donaldson, amongst a cast of Ronald Acuna Jr., who may be emerging as one of the best players in baseball. And JT Realmuto, the Phillies, do they get Bryce Harper? I just think it's awesome for baseball, and it's awesome for the Nats that this division is going to be the toughest.
That ball's on the ground out in left center off the bat of Chuck Taylor. So he's got a knock, and Sanchez over to third base with 2 outs. Nats down by 4, trying to make some noise here in the bottom of the 6th.
That ball finding a hole. He didn't like the swing, but he liked the results. I don't know if number 91 saw it. I would say his name card, it's not on there. Do you got it?
Number 91
is
name. Not on the roster.
Well, maybe that's who you hit him to.
Yeah, it's the only thing that drives us crazy about spring training is when the other team has guys that are not on their roster. So we'll try to find out.
Brought him over to minor league camp, and
yeah. Here's Spencer Keyboom's first at bat. He's hitting in Matt Adams' spot. So Davey not going straight up with his switches tonight. That's all right.
I'll put the tarp on. It's pouring.
Wow. I saw rain in the forecast several days ago for today, and finally at 8:46 Eastern, the raindrops arrive, and that's a fastball away.
I mean,
is there something coming this way, Mr. Weather?
I'm looking, and I'm upset that I'm looking, because I'm so scarred from last season. And seeing the Skittles tarp on Nats Park infield, maybe every single home game last year.
Well, here, this is a dubious stat at best. Talked to John Turnauer today. Oh my goodness! Keyboom! See you later to the concourse. And we've got a 1-run game. '50 of 81 home games affected by weather last year. No weather could affect the way that ball was hit.
And a high five from your brother. Boom. As in Keyboom.
Wow.
Telling you, he's a big league catcher, and he showed us his value last year. You know, whether he breaks camp with this ball club or not remains to be seen. I haven't heard any talk of carrying 3 catchers, but it's a strange game, especially at that position. What a swing.
Here's Matt Reynolds, who was in camp with the Nats last year. Remained with the organization, spent most of the season at AAA Syracuse. He's a former Met. And a breaking ball is low.
"51 home games were affected by weather."
50 out of 81. Can you believe that? Matt went 2 for 13 in 12 games with the Nats. .270 at Syracuse with 4 homers and 29 RBIs. A guy from him his high school out in Oklahoma, Bishop Kelly High School, Dallas Keuchel. Where's he going to end up? Great left-handed arm still out there. Craig Kimbrell is still out there. Maybe when the Harper mystery is solved, we find out more about those guys.
Well, we'll talk about it next inning. I got a lot to say on it.
Okay. We're going to go to the 7th. So it was 6-2, and now it's 6-5. So a big swing by Spencer Keyboom. And FP said it well, boom indeed. A no-doubter to left. To the 7th inning we go in a 6-5 game. In the rain, he's still behind the plate. Henderson Alvarez still on the mound for the Nats. And thoughts on Max Scherzer's outing tonight from the man himself moments ago.
Today was actually good. The fact that you get some traffic out there, have to fight through some pitches, and pitch count even got up there, and have to pitch through some fatigue. That's the stuff you have to do during the year. You don't want to go out there and be perfect. I know you do, but in spring training you don't. You want to have to learn how to battle through some innings, because that's what's going to happen in the regular season. So, in some ways, I'm happy that I had to, pitch out the stretch and have to execute pitches in those situations.
So back to live action. Well done by Max Scherzer tonight. Recovered from that opening home run that he gave up. That was Ronnie Dawson, the hitter. Here's Alex DeGotti.
Pretty good career minor league numbers.
Runner on the move. And that throw just enough tail on it where Sanchez had to kind of reach for it and then pull it back in to try to make that tag.
But I know you're with me right now. At home, you're saying replay. That was my first thought, but they don't do it in spring training. How many times have we seen guys get tagged on the foot sliding in? And that's the new with replay review when you're out, but it looked like he got in there. But I'm so conditioned now. That was my first thought right there. Replay.
That's a good one.
Challenge it.
Hey, it's the only way they got Trey Turner.
That's right.
Get him on the back leg or the back foot there with throws tailing to the right side. Healthy hack off to the right. 1 ball, 1 strike.
But getting back to it, Carp, I don't like to see some of the best players in the world sitting at home, because Major League Baseball is supposed to be the best players in the world playing. And it isn't right now. When you have one of the best relievers in the game sitting at home.
Former Cy Young Award winner.
It's not the best players in baseball. And I understand both sides to it now. I understand, a guy that makes $7 million a year worth 88 wins instead of 87, when you can get a guy to make $550,000 a year to get to 88 wins. I get that. There's analytics now to project what guys are going to do. So owners and organizations are getting smarter in that regard. But I also like the fact that we just talked about the National League East being a very tough division and there being competition. It isn't like that in a lot of divisions. There's already winners of divisions right now before we even start the season, unless, they get tons of injuries.
Right.
So what I would like to see at the highest level, and however you get back to that, you get back to it, is the best players in the world going nose to nose every single game, and every single organization competing to win a championship. And maybe that's a pipe dream, but I feel like that's how it used to be, whether you're a small market team or a big market team. And there's teams that claim to be small market teams, and then they sign guys to 10 years and $300 million. So I'm just confused about the whole situation. I don't think it's good for baseball when you don't have the best players on earth playing against each other every night, and a lot of them sitting at home.
Yeah, well, you've referred to over the years at the highest level. Is baseball at the highest level it can be right now? Many would say no. Many say, well, a lot of young guys are getting chances to prove themselves more than ever before. But when it's the first day, and in some cases the second day, of spring training games actually being played, and big time players are out there unsigned, it is a different thing than we've ever experienced before. And it all pretty much got ahead of steam last year at this time. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Carter Kieboom at short, right behind the runner. Late swing and a foul off to the right. Nats will be in Jupiter behind Eric Fetty to play the Cardinals tomorrow. And then you heard Patrick Corbin earlier tonight tell Alex Chappell his first start will be against the Braves. That'll be up at Disney on Monday in a 105 game. Our next TV game, by the way, is Tuesday, March 5th. The Red Sox will be over here from Fort Myers. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss on a ball diving down and in on the right-handed hitter. Alvarez, second strikeout. Let's have a look at our Matson spring schedule. So this one, then March 5th. The following Saturday, the Marlins down from Jupiter, the Braves on the 13th, and then we'll close it out on consecutive Saturdays right here against the Redbirds. And then, of course, don't forget the Yankees will be at Nationals Park for the exhibition game on the Monday before the season home opener the following Thursday. Here's Yordan Alvarez with his second AB of the night. 2-run single off Aaron Barrett to close out that 5th inning, and then he was thrown out at second base.
That was a good swing.
Henderson Alvarez, Yordan Alvarez. Dueling here, top 7. Still a couple of years away from the end of the current collective bargaining agreement between the players and the owners in baseball. And former Nats GM Jim Bowden had some interesting thoughts on MLB radio the other night. They were talking about the DH and the pitch clock and the other rule that's been kind of kicked around, that maybe pitchers have to come into a game and face at least 3 batters. Wind is taking this one, but it's caught over there by Andrew Stevenson for the second out. And I thought Bowden had an interesting take on the thing. He said, hey, the owners and the players are kind of at odds right now. Why not institute the rule changes right now over the next year or so? And then, 3 years from now, you can address this free agency thing and all that stuff if things are still going on. A lot of thoughts floating around out there. And, I don't know. Everybody says the DH is coming and there's no stopping it. I know a lot of us National League fans who grew up on this game, FP, that's hard for us to swallow that, yeah, just go ahead and change the rules now. But I thought it was an interesting take by Bowden that, the two sides are kind of mad at each other to a certain extent right now. Do the changes 3 years from now, who cares? And then you address all these other serious issues. Do you think that the game of baseball, with these rule changes we're talking about, do we need to update these things and modernize them, if you will, to continue to attract a young audience to the game? Because we seem to be losing a little bit of that battle with some of our younger fans.
Yeah, I agree. I'm all for some changes in order to keep the game moving along and keep the interest of the younger audience. Just thinking on the fly right now, I just think if you tinker with things too much, you're opening up a Pandora's box, and where does it stop?
Right. And that's what we were saying, 2 years ago about replay, 2 to 3 years ago. So the times, they are a changing, and we'll see to what extent here over the next couple of years. But there is the possibility of the pitch clock being instituted this year for the regular season. Jack Mayfield
4
is the hitter.
3, 2, 1. Open the trap door.
Open the trap door. And as the clock goes to 0, the hitter steps out.
Yeah, the 3 hitters faced by a pitcher is, you can't tell me who to pitch. Come on.
If that rule gets brought into the game, what happens to the lefty specialists. The guys who've always come in to get left-handers out over the last couple of years. Going to leave those guys in to face 3 batters. It's pretty radical in my opinion. The Jerry Blevins of the world.
Yeah.
Those kind of guys. 3-1 with 2 outs and a runner at second.
I had something really smart to add on to what you said, and I forgot what I was going to say. Spring training, my brain is numb right now. All right, mound visits. Remember we talked about that all spring training last year?
Yeah. I didn't even know we had used any. Well, yeah, I know they changed pitchers last inning during an inning, but I don't remember any of the other mound visits, actually. We get conditioned to these things, and we kind of move along in baseball. 3 balls, 2 strikes. High fastball, runner going, so there's a steal of third as Ronnie Dawson is over there on the 2-out walk to Jack Mayfield. First walk by Alvarez. Here's Abraham Toro, who replaced A.J. Reed at first base.
The thing you're going to see this year maybe that you haven't seen in the past is outfielders switching positions in big situations for a certain hitter.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you have your best corner guy, if say Toro's a dead pull hitter and you had an average right fielder and an above average left fielder, why wouldn't you flip-flop him for a batter?
Right.
So not only are you going to have infield shifts, you're going to have outfield shifts. I think that's something you'll see moving forward.
Well, Andrew Stevenson could play any of those positions.
But you only have 20 seconds to do it, so you have to have fast outfielders.
You got to hustle from one position to the other. Hey, Whitey Herzog back in the 80s, he'd bring a relief pitcher into the game. I remember Ken Daly doing this, a lefty. He'd face a left-handed batter. He'd go to right field for a batter, and then Whitey would make another switch, and he'd come in to face another lefty. He technically was still in the game, even though he wasn't pitching. Who knows what we might see? Some guys can do it, and some guys just aren't conditioned for something like that.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel. I'm more open to it than I was in the past. It just sounds bad when you're up here griping about new rules. Whatever. As long as we still have fun watching the game and it doesn't affect the integrity of the contest too much. There's more important things to worry about, I feel like.
First and third, 2 outs. Good changeup. Lots of action on that one. How about a spring training reset? It's the Fit Team ballpark of the Palm Beaches. Nats in their 3rd year here. So are the Astros. Bob and FP. Alex Chappell makes her Masson debut tonight. So far, so good, Alex. Great to have you with us. And we've got a 6-5 ball game with both teams doing some middle innings hitting here. Rendon is homered. Spencer Keyboom is homered. Carter Keyboom will lead off, by the way, in the bottom of the 7th when we bring you back. So it's been a rather entertaining game. There he is, number 8. 21 years of age, Carter Keyboom. How bright is the future for him and for this organization with the likes of Keyboom, Robles, Soto. Rain falling hard again. He went. And so it's 7th inning stretch time here at the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. All right, Carter Keyboom, you've been hearing about him. He's next. Yeah, time for some ponchos at the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. Curly W's on display. Here we are. Hello, guys, from center field. That's FP. I'm Bob. He's got it. What, you expecting a parade in October?
Yeah.
There you go.
Why not?
Hey, having some fun. I don't know if you guys are having as much fun as we are, but we want you to know we've seen your tweets, we've seen your messages. It's great to be back with you. We've been waiting for tonight, and this is a lot of fun and great to be back doing baseball.
It is. It's great to be in some warm weather, first of all, and then second of all, to see some baseball. And we're excited to see Carter Kieboom step into the box here.
He's 21 years of age, first rounder, 28th overall, taken by Mike Rizzo, his staff, and the Nats 3 summers ago. So he came off a season with the Salt River Ball Club at the Arizona Fall League when he hit .295. 11-46 the power numbers at Potomac last year. At Harrisburg, 5-23. So he combined for 16 homers, 69 RBIs last year while hitting .280. And he's a kid, barely into his 20s here. So there are his overall numbers in 220 ball games.
20-year-olds, 21-year-olds. You got a nice mix of veterans and young players on this Nats ball club.
And I talked to Davey about this. I think there's some hunger on the ball club from the guys who've been around because of the way things went last year. And, you know, as we talked about with the skipper earlier, there were a lot of injuries last year. But an 82-80 season, FP, makes you hunger for what's to come. And then you got some young guys buzzing around, running around, and you know they're hungry to prove themselves as well.
Yeah, and I think talking to Davey today, it's about being present and taking care of today. Like, conquer the day was his term. You know, don't worry about, you know, October or September right now, but just be the best you can, be present for today and win the day. And I think you look up in the process at the end of the year and you're hoping that you'll be right where you need to be in September. But like I said, a great division, and it's not a bad thing. It's a great thing.
That was a pretty veteran take right there. Carter Kieboom listed at 6'2", 190. That was a 2-1 pitch. It was borderline. He's got a good count in his favor here to drive it somewhere. Like that, out to left center. Short hops the gap wall out there, and Carter goes Kieboom just like Big Brother did. That was a sweet swing.
Well, I think you nailed that, Carp, when you talk about the 2-1 pitch being a ball, a borderline pitch, and then he gets to a 3-1 count. You're sitting dead red, the big leg kick and the extension. So he knew a fastball was coming, and he drills it into left center field.
Yeah, we almost had 2 Kieboom homers tonight.
Yeah, what is that, 6 total bases and 2 at-bats for the Kieboom brothers tonight.
Very nice. Hitter is Hunter Jones. Ball diving down and away. Seattle native. 27 years of age. 298 at Harrisburg last year, 305 at Syracuse. 107 games total. Not a big power guy, but he drove in 44 runs. That ball gets away. Carter Kieboom to third. In there. Going straight for the bag, and he barely beat the throw.
I mean, you're talking to Spencer last year on bus rides and plane rides. He said, my brother's just a baseball player. And right here's a good example. He reads the ball in the dirt. The ball barely trickles away, and look at him just kind of continue the secondary lead. He was looking for down angle right there on the pitch, saw it, doesn't hesitate. And those are things you can't teach. That's baseball instinct right there. And I think that might have been more impressive down by 1 than the double in the gap. You can't teach what Spencer or Carter Kieboom just did.
Pretty good pickup, short hop there by Stubbs.
I knew I was going to do that.
That's what spring training's for. I had a fan message me a little while ago saying he's been looking all over the internet for the big league announcers handbook. Hasn't been able to find it yet.
Oh, it's right where the keys to the batter's box are.
Yeah, right next to it.
And the left-handed baseballs.
Breaking ball was hanging up in it a little bit.
All right, zombie third base coach. There's some leftover sunscreen from batting practice today. It's not gray hair. It's not a gray beard.
Okay, glad to hear that.
Bob Semley. Good to see Bob catch up. Wonderful third base coach. Wonderful human being. And a guy you just love to talk baseball with.
That's some jammage and a pop-up to the left side.
All right, Nats Spring Training is always live with MLB At Bat. Follow the action through game day. Watch video highlights and track stats and standings and breaking news. Download MLB At Bat. It's your #1 Nationals app.
Okay, we're talking about youth being served. This is Luis Garcia. We've been hearing a lot about him.
He's 13 years old.
Well, he was 5 years ago.
All right.
Infield's in with 1 out in a 1-run game. This is a shining future star, the Nats believe. Combined 54 RBIs last year at Hagerstown and Potomac, so we're talking low A, high A. He had 297 for the Suns, then 299 for the Peanuts. 7 homers, 54 batted in. 18 years of age.
Wow.
Luis Garcia. Listed at 6 foot 190. He looks bigger than that to me.
Decent hack. Pull swing to an outside fastball.
Oh, big curveball drops in there. I don't think he saw many hammers like that at A-ball last year, and that's 2 down. It's a big strikeout for Jose Hernandez, his second. Top of the order, second at bat for Andrew Stevenson.
Tell you what, thinking about a base hit bunt, but watching.
He's got Mayfield way off the line at third.
Yeah. He can do it.
And it has to happen early in the count. No sign of squaring, and that's got some sliding action to the inside edge. Turns one over that dives the other way, 1-1.
For the ball in the dirt right here if you're Carter Kieboom.
Well, we know he's looking for that. Great baseball instincts is one of the things we hear about him. And a 1-hopper to the right side. Stevenson's retired. So are the Nats in the 7th. They haven't stranded many base runners tonight. I've got them for 2 in a 1-run game.
First at 2.
Driven to left center. Copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. That was that P who just went by.
Yep.
Little flash here and there. A little breezy. The rain has come and stopped on a couple of occasions. And as we go top 8 here, some work for the 30-year-old left-hander Sammy Solis. 56 appearances last year. Sammy was more hittable than he had been in previous years. Strikeout to walk numbers were okay, 44 over 18, but he had a hard time last year at times at P missing bats. And some left-handers got him too. He's got to improve on that.
He had a tough time getting lefties out last year.
Garrett Stubbs, the catcher. Lefty-lefty matchup here to start the 8th.
We saw 1 and 2 with the 6.41 ERA. A lot of times the ERA can be misleading for a reliever, but a guy that's out of options for the Nats, and it's imperative for Sammy and his career that he has a good spring.
Ball slap to the right side. Sanchez. Such a good defender, Adrian Sanchez. Put a star next to that one.
No doubt about the glove of Adrian Sanchez. He's got tremendous range. Wherever you put him, he's going to catch it. And that's just being ready for the baseball. Nice play.
Joshua Rojas, the hitter. Sammy gets a couple of lefties here.
Yeah, lefties hit 329 off Sammy Solis last year, and that's got to be better this year. He'd be the first one to tell you. Righty's just 224.
Big hook. That's a swing. Rookie umpire Mark Stewart Jr. down there at third base. David Rackley at second, Mike Estabrook at first. They've been rotating a little bit around the infield tonight. C.B. Buckner, the 24th year for him, behind the plate all the way.
I just think when you're a starting pitcher, Carp, coming up through the minor leagues, what happens? Your opponent is stacked with right-handed hitters. So as you develop as a pitcher, you're used to facing a lot of righties.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you're thrust into a relief role at the major league level, and as a lefty, your job is to come in and get out lefties. Well, guess what? You haven't done that your whole career. You've developed a repertoire and a mindset to retire right-handed hitters. And now that's your job at the major league levels to get lefties out. Hey, no excuses. It's highest level. You got to get them out. You have to find a way. But that might be a reason why that hasn't developed as quickly as Sammy's liked it to.
To Hopper, Jose Marmolejos. 2 down here in the 8th. Yeah, first game of spring training, it can set a tone for you. So Sammy's retired 2 lefties on grounders here. One took a really good play by Sanchez, and now he gets a right-handed batter in Steven Wren. He is the aforementioned number 91. We got some help to ID him and accurately get his name into this telecast. Non-roster guy over from the minor league camp to get some Astros action tonight. Astros will have the Braves in this ballpark tomorrow. And they'll be facing Mike Fultonevich of the defending division champion Atlanta Braves. I'm not sure what's going on with Altuve, Bregman, and Correa. They were not in the lineup tonight. Astros, the visiting team. But they live next door to us here. We were hoping to see those guys, but not tonight. Sammy turns one over. Nice pitch, 2-2. High in the air, out to center. Hunter Jones has it. Sammy Solis, couple of grounders and a fly ball. 1, 2, 3 for him. Well done, top 8.
For Acuna,
Swinging a high fly ball.
To 5. Houston Astros, Anthony Rendon, a solo tater in the 4th. Chuck Taylor with his Converse on had a double and a run scored in the 6th. And how about the Keyboom brothers stealing the spotlights in tonight's affair? You go back to the 6th inning. Spencer, the big leaguer, going deep. Brothers don't shake hands. Brothers got a hug. And then Carter Keyboom going shopping at the gap and a 3-1 count for a double. Then he read a ball in the dirt, barely trickled away. Advanced to third base, so there's your Keyboom highlight package, and that was cool. I like that.
Their dad, Alsvim, born in the Netherlands, and I'm sure wherever Dad is tonight, he is smiling ear to ear. And Mr. Keyboom, you should be very proud of your sons, and we love having them around.
Yeah, great family. I've had the opportunity to meet them all, so I can't imagine the pride going on at this moment.
There's Sanchez. Base hit the other way. Remember that line drive? He served to right field. That was with 1 out in the 6th. And then a double and a homer later, as FP just showed you. That made it a tight ball game. Got it back to 6-5. It's been that way ever since. Turns his shoulder on that one and takes the walk. Tying run aboard here, leading off the 8th inning.
All right, opening day is just around the corner. Tickets are on sale February 28th. Join the Nats fan club to gain access to pre-sale and exclusive offers. Get your opening day tickets before the general public. Visit nationals.com/fan club to register. You don't want to be part of the general public.
Marmolejos called out on strikes his first time. Visiting with C.B. Buckner about that strike one call. Entire season with Syracuse last year. 8 homers, 57 RBIs. Hit 266 in 130 ball games upstairs. Perth Amboy, New Jersey native, Jose Marmolejos. 1-2. This one popped up left side. First out, bottom 8. Here's Chuck Taylor. Chuck is from Arlington, Texas, Rangers territory. Played for the Arkansas Ball Club, AA level last year. 60 RBIs in 126 games, hit 297 upstairs. One of the Nats non-roster guys. Some of the names you might recognize of the non-roster guys invited this year. We've seen Alvarez and, of course, Aaron Barrett. J.J. Hoover, former Cincinnati Red, Milwaukee Brewer. Taylor Gushue, a longtime Nats organization catcher. Matt Reynolds, Brandon Snyder. We've seen them in this ball game tonight. And this one pops straight back. Stubbs back to have a look. And he has to dive to his right, can't make the connection. Very near being on top of that barrier back there.
Pretty good effort. Some padding there, which is good, and then the ball takes a bad hop right at the end.
Take the bat off your shoulder.
3-2. One on, one out. Left side, base hit.
I love this part of spring training games. You obviously tell there's a New Yorker down there. I'm sure you heard it at home.
Well,
he's like, take the bat off your shoulder for crying out loud.
He swung at 3 of the last 4 pitches. Evidently, the one pitch he saw was a take.
Nice swing, base knock, and here comes a key boom. I have a feeling the Nats are about to take the lead just by the way things have gone for the family tonight. All right, that's not Ryan Zimmerman right there. That's Jake Knoll. We played in Potomac and Harrisburg last year, and there's been a lot of talk about the resemblance. What do you think? I see it.
Well, what further excitement does the Keyboom family have in store for us tonight? Tape measure 3-run homer last time up. Fights off a pitch that jammed him.
Carter. Spencer.
Yeah, they're 2 hitters apart with Matt Reynolds in the on-deck circle. His bat is lively tonight.
These guys work out in the Atlanta, Georgia area with Charlie Blackman in the offseason. They're big fans of Charlie. And
saw where Charlie Blackman is no longer the Rocky center fielder. Ian Desmond's going to play center for them.
moving Charlie over to right this year, is more familiar with the right field position.
I hope Ian's ready to put some track shoes on to play out there. 1-2 with 1 out. Had him reaching. Could be 2. Astros will go not 6-4-3, and that error will allow this game to be tied. Rojas pulled it on the relay, and Sanchez scores from third base to tie it up.
Well, that's a double play. It's got to be turned at any level. Did Chuck Taylor go in hard at second base? Just a good clean slide.
First error of the night for either ball club. Now the lead runs at second.
If you slide firm and late and it's clean, you can disrupt a lot of double plays. And the reason I say that is because middle infielders are so conditioned nowadays not to move their feet and clear themselves, to have a throwing lane because they're protected by the rule. If you can push the envelope of the rule and play good old-fashioned hard baseball and slide into the bag with a little distraction, Carp,
yeah,
that can happen, and that can be advantageous to you in a late, close game. Just go in hard, but fair to the rule. And then all of a sudden, people are like, oh my gosh, they're playing hard, and they freak out because somebody's sliding hard, and you throw it in the dumpster.
Reynolds struck out swinging first time up, looking for a 2-out go ahead and knock here, but a ball down in the dirt will get Matt. So the Nats pick up an unearned run, and we are into the 9th here at a 6-6 score.
The Nats, top of the 9th, game tied at 6. The promo says read 2 times, so I'm gonna Washington, Nationals, single game tickets are on sale now. You won't want to miss the best matchups and hottest giveaways. Alex already talked about one today, the Obi-Wan Kenobi Sean bobblehead.
Sean Kenobi?
Yes,
like
visit nationals.com to get your 2019 tickets today. Get them, darn it.
Well, there will be times this year in the 9th inning when he is our only hope. So we go to the top of the 9th inning. Here's 27-year-old Jimmy Cordero. Big league debut last year for the Nats, 22 ball games. 23 hits in 19 innings, 12 Ks, 12 walks.
27 years old, 6'4", 222. And we liked what we saw from Jimmy last season. Live fastball that averaged almost 98 miles an hour. Slider, curveball change to complement the heater. So if he's in the strike zone, he is effective. Had trouble throwing strikes at times last season.
Lorenzo Quintana will lead off for the Houston Astros in the top of the 9th. There's Lilly, Derek Lilliquist, Nats pitching coach. How about the staff he gets to work with this year? Wow. Scherzer, Strasburg, Corbin, Sanchez, Hellickson. At least to start.
I'm in.
Playing him perfectly, Andrew Stevenson catches that rocket to left for the first out, top of the 9th. Next up is Ronnie Dawson. Dawson, infield hit last time, then he stole a couple of bags. Stranded after leading off the 7th with that base hit off the glove of Matt Reynolds at 3rd. And another bouncing ball. Sanchez, 2 down.
You get it now right here. We have a flashback to what, 2 years ago when Michael A. Taylor walked off, I believe it was the Astros in the very first game here at the ballpark of Palm Beaches, 15.
Right up the road from his home.
Yeah. Get it out first and then let's do it.
Well, there's a key boom leading off at the bottom of the 9th.
Make the team if he does that tonight.
You're in. This is Alex DeGotti. Swinging strikeout first time tonight. And I want to get it right. It's Alex DeGotti.
Spring training.
Yeah. Hey, these guys are appearing in a major league ball game. We want to give them their due.
Yeah, absolutely.
0-2.
Crowd's into it.
Yeah, some folks might have headed home when the rain started here. Sure beats the heck out of Arizona right now, does Florida, with the weather they're enduring out there.
I just showed you a picture of a Padres pitcher and a funnel cloud in the background today.
Yeah. Unbelievable. I was at the airport Thursday on my way down here, and I heard something announced I've never heard before.
What's that?
Flight to Las Vegas canceled because of snow. I'm sure they have a lot of plows there.
I thought you were going to say first class passengers can board now.
First time for everything. Still waiting for that one. 3-2. Ball had some late action on it, and Ducote did well to foul it off. Tuesday, March 5th, Red Sox will be here.
World champs.
Yeah, so we get to see our first two games are the last two world champions, Houston and Boston.
I'll tell you what, whatever you think, I was happy for Alex Cora. That was cool.
Absolutely. But I mean, we enjoyed him so much as a Nat.
He's a good teammate too. Good guy.
Yordan Alvarez, third plate appearance. He has a 2-run single to his credit tonight.
You got to steal here, don't you?
Why not?
Why not? This guy hit the ball a ton last time, and he's a big prospect in the Astros organization. I think the 34th prospect by Baseball America in all of minor league baseball. Pitch count clock or pitch clock's not, I mean, watch, not even closest.
You've been watching it?
I have. Look at 7, 6. Did he come set? Does he do it? Trap door.
Ooh, that was close.
Open the door.
Officials have to go to the table for the review here in the last inning. Ball 2.
But that, I mean, joking aside, that's an example where a pitcher had to clean out his cleats.
Right.
He got the ball back. He walked off the mound. He's cleaned them off again. It has rained.
Foul tip. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Yeah, Jimmy Cordero does not care one bit about the pitch clock. None. And he just does. And why should he at this point?
Right off the end of the bat, and Sanchez, short right field. Solis had a scoreless 8th, Cordero a scoreless 9th. We've already had one key boom tonight, and Carter, the Kid brother, about to lead off. At no matter what, this is the last half inning of the night. So it'll be Carter Keyboom, Hunter Jones, and then Luis Garcia scheduled here in the bottom of the 9th inning, and Brendan McCurry will take over for the Houston Astros. So you peruse his minor league numbers.
A lot of strikeouts, not too many walks. Solid numbers.
27 years of age, from Ada, Oklahoma. Pitched for Ali Madami's alma mater, Oklahoma State. Ali was chunking out there, bringing the left-handed heat today. On the side fields, the back fields. Nilson Robledo blazing fast from the right side. We just had a big boom from a group of fans down there. See how it works out. Double left center field wall on a 3-1 pitch first time that he drove on a short hop. Ball probably hit the warning track about 380 feet away. Sidearm sling inside, 2-0.
Well, you've seen the release point on 2 pitches. Now get a fat one and let it rip. Is he thinking about getting on via walk, or is he thinking about walking him off? He was swinging.
3-0.
He's swinging here too. Green light, watch.
Yeah, ball just tailing inside right now. McCurry not able to keep it near the strike zone. Winning run aboard, leading off the 9th.
I mean, you got to play this straight up, right? Even though it's a spring training game, we'll see if Davey Martinez has put the bunt sign on here.
Hunter Jones pop up to short first time. Squares, lays it down. It's well done. He had some, as you call it, balata spin on that thing. It checked up a bit. And Keyboom, the winning run to second base.
Nicely done, Hunter. That away. Some high fives from whoever's left in the dugout. Now it's up to the 18-year-old to walk him off. What do you think? I want to say the guy on deck has had a walk-off in spring training too. On Masson. Yes.
Andrew Stevenson. So here's Luis Garcia. Saw a nasty hook that punched him out first time looking. That breaking ball stayed up. It was hanging a bit. They're playing him to pull, not in a shift.
Outfield super shallow.
Yes, they are.
Gotta be.
Good speed at second. Second 3-0 count in 3 batters here. And the guy in between, Hunter Jones, sacrificed on the first pitch.
I think this is a take situation to try to get a major leaguer up here to try to win the game. I don't think he'll get a green light at 18 years old. Now he's got a green light.
Easy take, 2 on, 1 out. Yeah, it might put the double play in order, but Andrew Stevenson is very fast. He's hit a couple of ground balls to the right side. And we'll see if he can win it for the Nats.
And I mean, the key right here, even though it's a spring training game, is to get a fat one. I mean, he hasn't thrown one close. His only out's been on purpose.
Got jammed. It's a fly ball to center for Dawson. Runner is tagging and then stopping. Keyboom made Dawson throw it on target to the cutoff man. And it's up to Adrian Sanchez, a good contact man here with 2 outs.
I mean, talk about rule changes. If Adrian doesn't get a hit right here, what if you just had ties in baseball and you got a point like hockey? 2 points for a win, 1 point for a tie?
Please don't ever take
everybody
us there.
drive home safely. You got to get up and go to work the next day.
And along with that, I do not like the idea of putting a guy on second to start an inning, an extra
I'm just saying have ties.
I know.
For safety reasons, for relievers, there's a lot of benefits to it. You don't have to throw a starting pitcher out there in the 15th inning.
I do not believe what I'm hearing right now from you.
Well, I'm a little giddy, a little punchy. And I'm thinking on the fly on live TV. I'm saying ties in baseball for a point.
I'm just saying. There's a game-winning fly ball to left field. Adrian Sanchez walks off the Astros, and the Nats win it 7-6. That's a spring training dog pile.
Yeah. Do it, Adrian Sanchez. Nice night, a couple of hits, a diving play. I'm going to make him the MVP of the first Grapefruit League game on Masson. Don't forget the beautiful play at second base, the 2-strike knock to right. Now he walks off the Houston Astros with, I think he got to second base with a double and then scores a Keyboom.
I'll call that a double, why not?
Yes. Good way to start your season, right? Even though the games don't count, look at everybody just going berserk.
Well, a fun ending to what's been, for us, a fun evening to get spring training going here in 2019. And we hope you enjoyed the 3-hour and 18-minute ride along with us. We had a blast and hope you did too. So for FP and Alex Chappell, Bob Carpenter, the Nats win it 7-6. And our next telecast is Tuesday, March 5th, when the Red Sox will be here, the defending world champion Boston Red Sox. This has been a presentation of Masson. We saw a Keyboom homer, we saw a Rendon homer, and the Nats beat the Astros walking off. From West Palm Beach, see you later.